It happened in the Dutchtown neighborhood. Police say the City of St. Louis Sheriff's deputy was on an assignment around 10 o'clock this morning in the 3600 block of Montana Street when he left his personal vehicle running and unattended as he walked up to a home. In that time, an individual got into the deputy's vehicle and took off. The deputy chased the car on foot for several blocks. The sheriff's deputy said the individual began reaching for something inside the vehicle, and that's when he fired shots. The suspect was shot twice and transported to an area hospital with non-life threatening injuries. Gerald Beckman will become St. Louis Lambert International's interim airport director. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer appointed Gerald Beckman to replace Rhonda Niebrugge, who is retiring after more than 16 years as airport director. He has been the airport's deputy director of planning and development. Beckman began with Lambert Airport back in 1988 as a project engineer. From 1995 to 2000, he was administrative engineer and engineering manager. Now, he left in 2000 for roles at Jacobs Engineering and H.R. Green. He returned to the airport in 2009 as assistant airport director and became deputy airport director in 2013. In this role, he oversaw engineering, planning, environmental operations, and IT for the airport. Beckman will begin his new position on August 16th. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Taking a look at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement, Saturday morning, 9 to 11. 54,120. The Nasdaq up 671 points to 26,584, and the S&P up 135 points to 7736. Now for a look at sports and traffic, we check in with Paul Kopsky.
Vicky, the Cardinals, who play the Yankees in the Bronx tonight, made a couple of roster moves today. They've called up infielder Cesar Prieto and activated left-handed reliever Caleb Ferguson, whom they acquired from the Reds yesterday. And rookie pitcher Quinn Matthews has been sent down. And Mizzou running back Ahmad Hardy has been named to the Maxwell Award watch list. Hardy continues his return to play plan, which currently doesn't include taking part as a full participant in practice. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. 5570 East is jammed from 64 past Illinois 111, and 64 East is running slow from Illinois 157 to 159. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Checking the weather, currently 88 degrees and partly sunny. We'll have an overnight low around 70 with mostly clear skies. Mostly sunny tomorrow morning with a high in the upper 80s, and then clouds moving in with isolated thunderstorms tomorrow night, low in the low 70s. Currently, it is 88 degrees at the KTRS studios at Westport. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They could send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
You're selling your home and I want to buy it. This is Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I am ready to pay top dollar for your home. No contingencies, no inspections, no monkey business. I buy your home no matter the condition or location, and you walk away with cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867, 314-283-0867, or at robangproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
What have we learned about Heidi?
But cockroaches were the least of her problems. Heidi had to fight for every opportunity.
You know, Heidi is, even though she's very kind of sweet and innocent,
Heidi wanted out of the slum, and her agent wasn't doing enough.
Oh my God, they moved Heidi right next to me now.
Although Heidi seems serene,
she's a bit naughty.
she uses an ancient folk remedy to help calm her down.
Heidi is back.
Well, here we are all together again. Heidi Glaus, Josh Gilbert, Bob Ramsey on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. And we've got a busy show for you. Coming up first, we're going to talk to the CEO of Habitat for Humanity St. Louis. They're building some new houses in North St. Louis. And I've always been a big fan of what they do at Habitat for Humanity, because this is more than houses. And we'll let Kimberly McKinney tell us all about what they're doing. We'll also check in with ABC News digital journalist. It looks like it's more than just us, the Show Me State people here that are watching our election. Looks like a lot of eyes are on Missouri. So we'll find out what specifically they're looking at and what we could or could not be, I guess, paving the way for. So that's coming up. We'll also talk about some of the headlines in business news with Erik Siemers, editor of the St. Louis Business Journal. And I'm sure by now you've heard about all of these cyber attacks affecting local water systems. We'll see if that is under control with Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge, FBI. And then the 5 o'clock, we've got some entertainment news. We'll wrap it up with some randoms. We'll talk about the election. But first, let's start with a little something silly. And I want to know how you guys feel about this, because in 17 years, this one caught me off guard. We were leaving to go to Nashville for the weekend. We just had a very low-key, hung out at friend's house in the pool and watched a lot of sports. And as we were leaving Saturday morning, I looked over and Marsha was changing shoes. And I said, "Why are you changing shoes?" And she's like, "Well, I need to have driving shoes on." And I said, "Driving shoes?" She put on like her tennis shoes, like got out of her, I'd say kind of fancy flip-flop. And she's, "I don't like to have loose shoes when I'm driving."
I agree with her.
Okay.
I agree with her. I have a pair of, I wear them frequently, some gray Nikes, but they're barely more than slippers. They're so light, the soles are so thin, and it gives you that sense of feeling. You're right there. Instead of like a big clunky boot or something. I don't know what I'm kicking around down there at the gas and brake
that's
pedal.
very interesting. Now, I will say I've had a couple of kind of heart-stopping moments. Like I have this pair of Doc Marten boots that have a little hook on the back. And I have, because I feel like I'm moving my feet around a lot when I'm driving. And at one point, that little hook on that boot got hung up on something underneath.
Oh, man.
My chair. And I was like panicking that I wasn't gonna be able to get to the brakes, and I could. But I wear flip-flops quite a bit when I'm driving.
No, 99% of the time, I just wear what I wear.
Yeah.
But like when we went to Colorado, I put those
shoes
gray
on.
shoes on just to give you a little lighter, a little more feeling.
Do you have matching driving gloves?
Ah,
No.
No.
Okay.
Do you have a scarf?
Uh-huh.
Goggles?
Maybe
Well,
an
scarf.
ascot?
Scarf instead of an ascot.
All right. So
Ascot's for dinner.
Okay.
in the early 2000s, this kind of became popular. Puma, I think, put out a driving shoe.
And I do get like that little
The little
heel
sneaker.
that kind of comes up that has like a
It's
rubber
got
on
a
the
rubber
back where you
stopper
could
on the
yes.
back. These are what you would probably find. Picture the F1 drivers are wearing. Little shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But, and they also have, they call them driving moccasins.
Uh-huh.
There's, slip on.
Yeah.
I wear them to the garden party. I don't necessarily wear them
Yes.
to drive in. I've never specifically changed my shoes.
That is my
though.
question.
Whether I bought driving shoes for, fashion or whatever,
Mhm.
I've never said, I'm going to be driving. I better put on my ...
And can I tell you, she didn't drive.
I was going to say.
After all of that, she had her laptop with her and needed to be checking a few things. And I'm like, so you changed shoes just to be a passenger? So you
That's
guys
good.
on
That's
the
good
text
part.
line 84126, do you think about your shoe game when you're going on a road trip? I don't.
I don't either. I will say this, though. I had a bout of the gout,
Mm-hmm.
and I was wearing a boot
Yes.
just to get around before
That's not easy to drive in.
No, before the meds kicked in. It's tough
Yeah.
to, push on the gas. Are you pushing too hard? Are you pushing to Bob's point? You can't feel the pedal like you normally would.
Right.
I'm not sure you should be driving in the
I
boot.
know. I had to get to work.
Because I know when I was a broken leg but then mine was a little different. I had a stick shift at the time, so there was no way that my left leg was going to be hitting that clutch.
I will say this, and my personal disclaimer and hopefully get out of jail card is I admit it's a little, I guess it's not an OCD thing, but it's a little too into shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Every sport's got to have its own shoe in my closet.
Okay.
I haven't bought pickleball shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to always have court shoes like for playing tennis. But if you're going to play basketball, you got to have basketball shoes. If you're going to run, you have to have running shoes.
Okay.
We all know that's ridiculous and all brought about by the shoe companies. But they got me.
Yeah.
I'm in. I gotta have my cleats for playing baseball. Every shoe for a purpose.
That
So
is
I admit
interesting.
I'm a little nutty.
Okay.
So
But I like it.
okay.
I do
I
like
own up
it.
to it.
A couple people saying you should never drive in flip-flops. They could get curled up under your foot and cause problems with braking and accelerating. Somebody else said the same thing. No flip-flops. Only shoes to drive in. Somebody said I take off my flip-flops and drive barefoot.
That's too much sensory for me. Too much.
And
2 people said drive barefoot
Yeah,
for the feel.
I will say,
Well, Huckleberry, thanks for texting in.
I don't care for it. I don't.
It's
I've
too
driven.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's too much.
I
Too much feel.
I do in the RV sometimes if it's a long drive.
Really?
Mhm.
I like to wear closed-toed shoes even if I'm a passenger because in the summer when you kick that air on,
You get cold.
I get cold.
All right. Here's another shoe thing for me. And more for men than women. I don't know why. Perhaps I'm toxic. But grown men walking around at an amusement park or the zoo or at the ballpark in flip-flops. And I don't get it. And maybe it's just because I've known I'm too clumsy and I'm always banging my feet into stuff. Or I got to do something in a hurry and come right out of them. I got to have shoes on.
It's so interesting. A couple other people saying that we wear tennis shoes most of the time because if you go into a public restroom or a rest area, you never know what you're going to encounter.
Indeed.
I have never thought that far ahead.
Somebody else said Kohan had original leather driving mock.
Yeah,
I do remember that shoe.
Interesting.
it's a good-looking shoe.
Always wear substantial shoes when driving, mainly because I had a friend who had an accident while wearing sandals. Shoes went flying and were lost.
Yep.
Okay. Broken glass everywhere. It's impossible to walk away. Now that's
Practical.
yeah, very. Does the RV have cruise control? If not, that would get painful. It does have cruise control. Yes.
I have
After falling in love with Come Away, I've always dressed for an emergency.
that's the story of 9/11.
Yes.
Where everyone who was on an airplane had to be rerouted
And I
to
guess,
Newfoundland.
you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now that you're saying that.
So I don't know why I started thinking. I had trouble sleeping last night. I've kind of got a cold. I was up for a couple hours in the middle of the night, and I started thinking about manual transmissions.
Yeah. I love them.
Do
You
you
love them. I don't get them.
Yeah. Heidi always talks about 3 on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Bronco is,
That's
right?
the Bronco.
I don't even know how that
74.
I don't even know how that works.
You gotta, it's memory. And I'm gonna tell you, after I hadn't driven it for a while, I was like, I'm hopefully not gonna grind these gears, but we survived.
But there's clearly a clutch involved.
Oh yeah. And that one is a lot. It's a different clutch than it
Really?
is today. I mean, it's very.
You gotta
You got
get after
You
it.
got to get after it, and you got to be kind of gentle on the way out, or you're going to jump.
I was thinking 5 speeds. I was
Mhm.
thinking 6 speeds. The trucks, the over-the-road truckers, they're like, they have like 8 or 12. The
Mhm.
trucker Larry, if he's listening, he'll tell us. But it's kind of fun for like 5
A minute.
minutes. And then I think about all the things that I do while
Well,
driving.
But
you
here's
know?
the thing, though. Let me represent you in this
Okay.
court. You're not alone. There are many Americans that love the feel of driving their machine out on the open road.
Yes.
And it might. I'm sure it's a minority, but it's a big number of people who really love it. I'm like Josh. I'm fiddling around with the radio. I'm paying attention, but getting a cup of
Yeah.
drink,
Drinking a
and
soda, eating a
That
burger.
that exact point, we've had several conversations, and I'm talking about myself and some old friends. How much safer it would be for 16-year-olds to have to drive a stick because you
Pay attention.
can't.
You can't text and
You
drive.
cannot text and drive. You cannot. I mean,
I
you
think that's
can
great.
maybe hit the radio station, but
better not be in town.
no, it's, once you get out on the interstate and you're in 5th gear, it's all fine. Even if you're slowing down, you're not really knocking it back into a lower gear. But in a city, and I grew up in a town of 3,000. We didn't have a lot of stoplights, so it wasn't like driving in the city where you're every single. But I had my 1992 Toyota Celica that was a 5-speed for the first probably 3 years I was here in St. Louis, and I loved it. Maybe longer than that, actually.
Yeah.
I cried when that thing got taken away.
Yeah, you represent a specific, but not small segment
Yeah.
of people who feel like they're really driving their machine,
Mhm.
where the rest of us are just trying to get from point A to point B.
Yeah. Learning to do that, and I still don't know that I want to do it right now in the 74 Bronco, but learning how to get that clutch and pull off smoothly on a hill
Ooh,
when you have, because there is a
That's
little bit of a
frightening.
roll
that's frightening.
with like my car that was the 5-speed. My dad taught me you kind of pull the emergency brake up, and so because you only have the 2 feet, and so as you let out of the clutch, you lower down the emergency brake and hit the gas at the same time. So
Cool tip.
that was a little bit easier, but
Yeah.
the Bronco doesn't have that.
So
But with the invention of the automatic transmission, we phased this out because the only thing I could think of last night at 3:30 in the morning is people like it better this way.
Yeah.
People
Convenience.
don't want to drive stick shifts. That's why
the
they don't
majority,
exist
but
anymore.
like I say, it's not an insignificant number of the Heidi group.
They love it. I think it's nostalgia, but when they go to buy a car, like what about the supercars? This is not a market I'm in. But, when you buy a Ferrari these days, are you require, and when you get your Corvette, are you saying it has to be a
I don't think
5-speed?
so. I think a lot of these now you can turn them from manual, and you guys weigh in on
They're
the
both.
text line.
You
They're
have the
both. Like
option.
I think even now, my car, I have the paddles on my steering wheel. I never use them because it's not what I was
But you have the option.
taught. But I think
Okay.
I could put it into a faster gear if I wanted to.
My Bronco does have that.
Yeah.
With the little
Do you
paddles.
ever use it?
Never.
No.
Never have.
And I don't know. I think I'm afraid
I should
that
have
I'm going to
found.
completely
Yeah,
mess it
mess-
up if I do it at the wrong time. Almost like if you don't, switch your bike gears at the right time.
Yeah. But these automatic manual transmission, there's no clutch, which
Right.
takes out
Part
all
of it.
the
that you're going to completely throw
Yes.
the entire transmission out.
Yeah.
Somebody said, I love a stick shift. I'm 66, female, miss my old one.
Mm-hmm.
I think all teenagers,
I think it's
after they get their
nostalgia.
driver's license, should be required to know how to change a tire. Yeah.
Oh, no. McGraw brought this up earlier. I was listening and I texted him. Have you tried to change a tire on a new car?
You can't get the bolt off anymore.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah, you almost have to have a special tool.
We were out in San Diego. My sister-in-law has this giant Yukon or whatever. She's taken a sharp turn in La Jolla and really just rips the tire to shreds on a curb. A guy was sitting there with his family. They were eating ice cream. And he walks over. He goes, hey, look, I just had to do this on my car a couple weeks ago. It's really hard. Can I help you?
Thank God.
And there's a little box on the back, and you got to put this stick together, and you got to do this thing, and then it lowers the tire down, and then you need the key for the bolt because that's an anti-theft
Very complicated.
thing. It's so I'm watching this guy do this, and I'm like, I've changed a tire before, but never like this.
I've got an answer for you. AAA.
That is very true. Somebody said, I'm 69-year-old female. I miss driving my manual transmission cars.
Sure.
See, it isn't just me. And I love you guys for weighing in. Somebody said I had my right arm in a sling from shoulder surgery and had to drive a stick. Now that
oh no,
is going to be tough.
How do you do that?
I don't know, but I do remember a friend of our family's when I was getting my car. My senior year, it's saying that's a mistake. That ought to be a automatic. You play two sports, and I think he jinxed me in that freshman year because I got hurt with my left leg. But you guys know what we have coming up, and hopefully you will hang out with us. You'll be a part of the show because, as you can just see, you are the show. Keep the text line flowing, 84126. What was the car? Have you driven a stick shift, or is it completely foreign to you? And do you switch your shoes and have driving shoes on?
You know, that honeydew list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has two locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, two great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these three I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, two locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honeydew list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemaristudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemaristudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
Embrace the darkness at Nocturnal by Nature. It's a free family event Saturday, August 15th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's happening at the Bush Conservation Area, 2360 Highway D in St. Charles. You'll discover what goes on when the sun goes down. See live owl presentations, explore an inflatable cave and night hikes, meet real night creatures, dissect owl pellets, get mesmerized by moths, and probe the night sky through a telescope. These snow cones.
Family-owned company that's been serving the area since 1872. You've heard McGraw mention our knowledgeable staff, excellent customer service, and the best of woods. We're now producing and delivering custom prefabricated trellises, pavilions, and pergolas. Union-made, union-delivered. Homeowners and do-it-yourselfers are going to love these. Got an idea? Send a sketch and some dimensions and we'll take care of the rest. For the best of woods and prefabricated outdoor dreams, call Lee C. Lumber 234-0105 or LeeCLumber.com.
I'm Bob Hardcastle. Listen to my Money Talk radio program every Sunday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. on the Big 550, where we discuss your money in an easy-to-understand manner. We have interesting guests, chat about money. We try to help you feel more comfortable with your money by talking about the investment market. Join me. I'm Bob Hardcastle.
Money Talk, Sunday morning at 8 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer. That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newstetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 3:30. Time to check in with Captain Paul. See how traffic's moving.
Highway 5570 East is jammed between Exchange and Black Lane with the two right lanes closed for road work. 64 East is running slow between Illinois 157 and 159. 255 North is slow between 64 and Collinsville Road. And 64 West bogs down at Prospect. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Habitat for Humanity is building new houses in North St. Louis. We're so happy to welcome Kimberly McKinney, the CEO of Habitat for Humanity St. Louis, to the show to tell us more. This is exciting. It's so great to see you. Good to see you as well. So let's just start. I think sometimes people don't realize that Habitat is so much more than building this structure. I mean, there is such a process, and you really are giving homeowners, new homeowners, tools that most of us need but never get.
Correct. And thank you for starting with that, because I think a lot of people think of Habitat and don't really understand that what we're really giving is an opportunity.
Yes.
An opportunity for someone who otherwise may not have an opportunity to own a home. And it's not a giveaway program. They will have a mortgage. They pay the mortgage back. This is just one of those closing the gaps on something that has become, quite frankly, a privilege in the United States to own your own home. So it comes with a lot of behind the scenes cleaning up credit, doing educational classes, preparing people who are often first time and first generational homeowners to own their own home.
And you also require a little sweat equity.
We do. And that's really part of our teaching life skill classes. Like, I really wish the first time I had bought a home, somebody had taught me that. I probably wouldn't have, started tearing down a load-bearing wall. There's that. So it really is getting them prepared for, you're going to move into a house. And that means that maybe you didn't know, the importance of cleaning out gutters and, taking care of your property, that those things are really, really important. And that's part of owning a home.
Yes. And I will say, I've been able to be there to see you guys hand over the keys a couple of times. How do you even describe that? Because it is so emotional and so exciting. And then the kids, it's not just the homeowner, the kid's life has just changed.
Absolutely. I often say to folks that we're not going to necessarily see the difference we made in the life of our home buyers. Maybe we will, but if we don't, we're going to see it in the life of the kids, because it's suddenly kids who did not have, the luxury of growing up in a home that was owned. And so they're moving multiple times and they don't necessarily see that as being achievable. And this suddenly provides the stability where it becomes achievable. So it really is about, our homeowners work really, really hard. They're hardworking individuals who just need this help for this American dream. And you can't see the air quotes I'm making. So we provide that, and it really is the stability in their life as well as kids' life who, suddenly are doing better in school when they're not moving 3 and 4 times in a year, or have better health outcomes, or all of the things, and actually become vested members of a community. That's hard to do when you're renting and moving from place to place to place.
I want to know how the home ownership process works, because you touched on it right there. You see it in the kids' life. Generational wealth is a real thing, and that comes with passing a home down, or maybe when someone passes away, you sell the house, and there's just money, there's equity inside the home. And I don't want to go back too far, but redlining kind of took that away from certain generations. So how does the home ownership process work with Habitat for Humanity and the people that you choose?
So they are buying a home just like any of us would buy a home. They sit at a title company and they sign documents. We do a forgivable mortgage, because I hope most people understand this, but right now it costs a whole lot more to build a house than many people can afford. And so we close that gap with a forgivable mortgage. We do that by doing the creative financing that we just put together for these homes. But that is one step. I mean, the rest of that is the community really stepping up and supporting Habitat. And we've been blessed, to have that for 40 years.
Are you giving houses away?
We are not giving houses away.
Okay.
So they will have a mortgage. So our homes will sell. Our homeowners are going to be looking on these houses, rough numbers, a mortgage payment of somewhere $850 up. So it's just suddenly, it's going back to what you just talked about creating wealth, because instead of just writing that rent check, it's a mortgage payment. So there's equity involved in it. And while we have some safeguards related to, not flipping a house in the first 10 years without sharing that equity, some of that, we really want them to build that equity. Like, that's important to us as well, because that's the success.
You use the word community. When you build homes, how does it fit into the community? People that are already living there or whatever, is that a thing that people embrace? Is it something new to most people?
It really varies. I mean, people are people, right? So they can be very different. Some communities, it's absolutely wonderful. They see, the tremendous investment. And are really happy about it. A lot of times when people really don't understand our program and think we're just handing over the keys, a giveaway program, we get that sort of, well, I don't want that in my community. But then once they actually hear, the sweat equity that we talked about, the fact that there's going to be a mortgage payment, and that they're really not being given anything other than an opportunity. And I mean, we are local Habitat St. Louis. So these are folks who live in our communities. They are, working in our schools and our hospitals and wherever. So it really is just giving that opportunity, but they work really hard for it. I mean, 250 hours of sweat equity, life skill classes, that's sort of adding a little part-time job for the duration of their home being under construction.
Yeah. We're talking to Kimberly McKinney, the CEO of Habitat for Humanity St. Louis. How does someone apply?
They reach out to our office. We do some pre-screening. If we have not already, I should know that before I got here, but I don't. We are setting up a special hotline just for this build. And one of the things I want to say is we actually are going into this. This is what we have done so far is one step towards this build. There are a lot more steps to go, including that we hope to attract other developers and to be able to provide them some, site ready and say, come build with us, because that's what makes community. It's back to the question you just had. Community is all of us. It's not any one of us.
So tell us about these homes that are going to be built in North St. Louis.
So we have followed a couple of community plans, and we really are trying to make sure that it is, something for everyone to the extent that that's possible when you're working in the constraints we do. So some of them are 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath. Others are 3-2. It's different housing styles, trying to blend into the community. Looking at the city of St. Louis had undertaken some community plans. So working on what does that call for? What does that look like? But really trying to, if you are a senior citizen, as an example, who needs to get out of, a place with stairs. So having that 2-bedroom, 1.5, which actually in the preliminary house designs, that's my favorite because it has great outdoor space. But, giving them an opportunity for something that's all on one level, which means, suddenly you're not like, okay, what do we do as the elderly parent,
And what are the parameters for people who do apply? Do they have to be on a certain rung of the economic.
They do. So it is income qualified based on family size. We see, again, because it has gotten incredibly expensive to build houses. Most of our families are in that 50 to 60 median income range. We can go a little higher, especially for some of our, a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And maybe a smaller house can go a little bit lower, but it's somebody who is, what we find is a lot of our families come to us, and because rent has become so unaffordable in the St. Louis market, is somebody who comes to us that's working multiple jobs to make ends meet. And, maybe they're a parent, and that's challenging.
I want to ask you about that cost of building a new house, because with the tornado that went through North St. Louis, with questions of the Rams money and trying to figure out how do we revitalize North St. Louis, it's hard to think of building a $300,000 house in an area like that, because it won't sell for $300,000.
Right.
How much does it cost to build these houses that you guys have?
When we are doing homes that have, St. Louis is known as Brick City for a reason, right? So when we're doing a home with a lot of brick on it, we are probably looking at $350,000.
And
it will not appraise for that.
It cannot sell for that.
Love St. Louis. I'm a St. Louis city resident, love the city, but it won't appraise for that. So that is where, I hear people, market rate, but sometimes you got to create the market. So we have gone into areas and been like, okay, we will take that step and get some hardworking individuals in, and then you build community. I mean, you don't see, coffee shops or whatever the everybody wants in the community. I hate using that one, but that's the one I'm going to use. You don't see them pop up until you've got enough people.
The community.
At one point I was in economic development, and it was, the rooftop count. So it's like developers of commercial development go in and they're like, how many rooftops are there? And if you don't have enough rooftops, they don't count the people in the homes, which is like, to me, the human beings are more important, by the way. Then nothing's going to come there. Yeah.
And through your experience working in this area, do you think that something will work over other things in North St. Louis? Do you have an idea of how to at least bring back certain neighborhoods?
I think it starts with this collaboration. We couldn't have done this without the wonderful benefit of new market tax credit and all of the allocations from the lenders and that, and the creativity of partners that got us to the point we are right now. It doesn't stop there. It's bigger. When we closed in the new markets on Friday, my first email started out with, it takes a village, and it really does. One organization can't do this, but we all need to be doing something.
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely. As a matter of fact, we have a listener. Where can you drop off building supplies, floor tiles? Is there anywhere in West County?
There is. Thanks for asking that question. So we actually, part of how Habitat raises money is we operate 2 retail facilities. They're known as Restore. They are typically open every day but Monday. They're closed today for a staff outing. So open every day but Monday, and they accept donations of new and used building materials. We offer them to sell to the general public, and then those proceeds benefit the important mission of Habitat. So you go in there, you buy lighting fixtures or drywall or doors or whatever it may be. We have great kitchen cabinets at Restore to Pair right now, brand new. You go in there and buy those things, and then that money supports Habitat for Humanity. So it's sort of earned income. It's our way of, instead of always having our hand out, of raising some of our own funds.
And I wanted to ask you, because you did bring up that you try to build to match the community. Do you use brick a lot?
We use brick as much as we can afford to use brick.
Yeah. I gotta imagine it's expensive.
Yeah, it is. But it's part of St. Louis. We want to blend in. So maybe it's not full brick, but having some accents and stuff, and looking at what is in community plans and what is in a community.
And Kimberly, I know that there's a lot of volunteer opportunities, and I want to get to that, but do you have home builders that start the surface, and how does the original floor plan get laid?
That's us. So Habitat for Humanity St. Louis has construction staff. I have an awesome director of construction. He has construction staff. So we start at site development. So we start, at that process, have the conversations with the architect, and it is blending, the how affordable can we make this home, because it's so expensive right now. How do we make it volunteer friendly? How do we include elements of energy efficiency, because utilities cost. We want to make sure that home buyers aren't just home buyers, that they're successful home buyers, and that it's a product that somebody will want to purchase. So we try to blend all of those things, but that's all on us.
On average, how many houses do you guys build a year or every 5 years?
We have been in the 40-ish range for a couple of years
Wow.
now. Yeah. So actually, I will share with you, a couple of years ago, our audit came out and we were proofing the draft, and I thought there was an error because it had like 46, and I reached out to our director of finance, and she's so thorough. She immediately sent me all of the addresses and how much we'd spend on them. And I'm like, that's why I don't sleep at night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes I try not
46.
to know all of that. So, we build all over. Most of the time, we are all over St. Louis City and County. We are the Habitat for Humanity affiliate for St. Louis City and County. And we realize, home ownership is, something that you may love, may not be my dream of
Right.
home ownership. So do you want a 2-story, very dense neighborhood? Are you looking for more suburban? Where do you work? Where do your kids go to school? Where's your safety net? Where's your friends? All of that. So at the same time that we're working on the project that just got announced, we're also working on a project for the first time ever in Maplewood.
Wow.
So
Nice.
we're doing one rehab there as well as 2 new constructions. So, there are folks who, some of our homeowners have kids, and so they're looking at the school districts.
Mhm.
Not all of them, but some do, and that's important.
So when we talk about volunteer opportunities, do you need to know how to hold a hammer?
You don't. We have amazing site superintendents who work with groups. We have a program we call Keystone, where corporate groups, faith-based groups, civic groups come out. And, it's like if you go to the zoo and you give so much money, you get so many benefits. You give money to Habitat, and for that, you get this opportunity to have volunteers out on site. It's a great corporate team building. You don't have to go throw axes or get lost in a room. You can build a house. So you come out and do that. And our site superintendents do, they teach you what you need to know that day. So if you're out there on the day when we're framing, you're not going to learn how to put down flooring.
Yeah. Gosh, it's such a great not-for-profit. It
Thank
really
you.
is
Thank
a
you.
special, and it's all the people that you bring together too. It's once you get out there on that site and you see the person, the soon-to-be homeowner, actually doing a little of that work too. I think it builds everybody's kind of moral support.
I completely agree. I will tell you, there's memories I have in my 20 plus years at Habitat. And one of them is the number of times I have had folks, especially in corporate world, who have we got as much out of this as we gave.
Uh-huh.
And I think that sometimes just, I had a corporate group one time who talked about how all they knew of St. Louis was 40 East, 40 West, and suddenly worked in Habitat Builds and saw the community outside of what they knew. And I think that it's real important sometimes to get out of the, what we believe, what we perceive about communities, and find out that we really are a whole lot more alike than we are different.
That is so well said. Kimberly McKinney, the CEO of Habitat for Humanity St. Louis. If people want to learn more, you can always go to your website, habitatstl.org. Anything else that people need to know?
I'll just say it's really we are very proud to be a Habitat for Humanity affiliate, but we work here locally. So if you are interested in giving locally, that's important to us. That's one thing I always want to make sure that I say. And the second is that we don't give houses away, and you all gave me the perfect platform for that. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Great to see you.
You as well.
My college roommate said to me recently, everyone needs a good electrician on speed dial. And you know what? He's right. Ever since Michael Baldy has started advertising on the show, you know what? He's been out to the house 4, 5, 6 different times to fix all sorts of things. Good thing I got Michael Baldy on speed dial, because those things are a hazard. And it's one thing, how much I like to pretend to think that I'm a home improvement guy. I'll mess with plumbing and I'll mess with woodworking, but there's something I won't mess with, and that's electricity. It's too dangerous. It's too confusing, quite frankly. I know how to plug in a light bulb, but after that, it's baldyelectric.com. So for all of your electrical needs, residential, commercial, indoor, outdoor, TVs, computers, technology, baldyelectric.com. It's the place to go. You need a good electrician on speed dial. That's Michael Baldy, or baldyelectric.com.
Lauren, can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
If your parents were buying a home tomorrow, would you represent them any differently than one of your clients?
Not a chance. And when I say that, I treat my clients exactly like I'd treat my parents. Same honesty, same advice, same negotiation. every client gets the same service.
Okay, second question. If one of your closest friends called you and said, I found a house, I'm in love with it, but you knew it was a bad decision, what would you do?
I've already done it before. I tell them no, don't buy it. My job isn't to sell people houses. It's to help them make good decisions. And sometimes that means they don't get to buy anything that day.
That's exactly why I've sent my friends and family to Larn for years.
I mean, it's simple. Buying and selling a house, it's a big deal. And people deserve to have someone who's willing to tell them what they need to hear and not just what they want to hear.
Exactly. If you already know Larn from listening every week, then you already know the kind of person she is. When it's time to make your move, give Larn Risley Realty a call at 314-775-0684.
For 6 generations, the name Edwards has stood for unwavering trust in wealth management. At Benjamin F. Edwards, we're fiercely independent and focused on one thing, empowering advisors to put clients first. Always. We offer personalized advice, guided by your needs, not ours. We are a relationship business. Discover the difference a truly client-first firm can make. Your wealth journey deserves a true partner. Visit BenjaminFEdwards.com. That's BenjaminFEdwards.com. Member SIPC.
Friday, August 28th, the Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows presents the When Mental Illness Hits Home Conference, Mental Health Through the Ages. Learn how to provide support for the mental health of your loved one, whether an adolescent, college age, or a senior, and how to access insurance coverage for mental health services. When mental illness hits home. Friday, August 28th from 9 to 3 in the Shrine Visitor Center. Visit snows.org/illness 2026. That's snows.org/illness 2026.
Tune in to the Frank and Jill Show on Thursday mornings at 10:35 to catch Everything You Need to Know by Jeff, powered by Banner Construction. Find out what's going on in St. Louis and where St. Louisans go when they head out of town. Thursdays with Frank and Jill.
The Frank and Jill Show.
Hi, this is Frank Cusimano from the Frank and Jill Show. Join us for Wednesday's program. Tara Khan, our Back to the Future segment, the movie Platoon. Sarah Fensky, St. Louis Magazine. Anita Mannion on what went on yesterday at the elections. And Travis Noble in our Legal Eagle segment. That's the Frank and Jill Show, Wednesday at 10 o'clock.
Frank Cusimano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon, right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 9 minutes before 4 o'clock. Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, it's getting busy on the roads out there. An accident on 64 East before Big Bend is blocking the 3 left lanes with stop-and-go traffic back to Hanley. A stalled vehicle on 70 West at Lake St. Louis Boulevard is causing a stop-and-go back up to Route K. 5570 East is jammed from Exchange to Illinois 111 with the 2 right lanes closed for road work. 5570 West congested between 255 and Illinois 111. 64 East is crowded between Illinois 157 and 159. 255 North slow between 64 and Collinsville Road. And 64 West bogs down from Kings Highway to Big Bend and between Prospect and I-70. This traffic report is brought by Neighbors Credit. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, voters are heading back to the polls in 5 states, and of course, that includes Missouri. Oren Oppenheim, digital journalist with ABC News Politics, joins us with why Missouri is so important. Thanks for joining us, Oren.
Thanks so much for having me.
So why are all eyes on Missouri this time around?
So Missouri is home to, or is hosting now an attempted comeback bid. Former U.S. Representative Cori Bush, who a major progressive and was a member of the so-called progressive squad in Congress, she lost her primary 2 years ago to now incumbent Wesley Bell, who was supported by a lot more moderates who were trying to get Bush out of Congress. But now Bush is attempting a comeback bid, and she's trying to harness this wave of progressives who we've seen have toppled incumbents around the country and trying to harness voter sentiment that seems to be souring on incumbents who are in Congress. And she's trying to use all of that sort of national context and sentiment in order to take back the seat she once held.
What other races are you watching closely?
So I'm keeping an eye today on Missouri's 5th district. I mean, incumbent Democratic Representative Emanuel Cleaver, he's uncontested in his primary, but there's a bunch of Republicans running who are hoping to unseat him because last year, as you may remember, Missouri Republicans pushed through a new congressional map. It was part of a mid-decade redistricting push around the country, and they redrew Cleaver's district to lean more Republican. The final fate of that map is up in the air. A lot of legal challenges, potential referendum, but right now a bunch of Republicans are hoping to win the primary and then be able to flip that seat in November.
Yeah, Orrin, nationally they're looking at Missouri too as states are trying to compete perhaps with Texas and Florida and others with no sales tax. Do you have a feel for how that's going? I think the way it was presented to voters is going to be a difficult one to sell.
Yeah, I mean, while I've been following the congressional races, it's definitely an issue. And I mean, just looking at the national polling, Americans are really focused on the economy. So I think voters very much care about anything on their ballot that has to do with taxation, the economy, things that might impact their finances. That said, we've also seen that sometimes voters can be a little confused by how these ballot initiatives are presented to them. There's always back and forth over how they're phrased. I haven't seen any polling about the specific one in Missouri. Definitely something to watch. But yeah, sometimes it's hard to get a read on those initiatives.
And Orrin, a lot of these races, yes, they are primaries, but they are de facto election day because either there isn't a Republican running in opposition or out in St. Charles, there's not a Democrat running in opposition, or at least not one that has a chance of winning. Is this late for a primary when it comes to the rest of the nation here in Missouri on August 4th?
It is relatively late. Most states have held their primaries already. That said, Tennessee is still going later this week. Hawaii is on Saturday. Next week, we've got primaries in Connecticut, Minnesota, and Vermont, and some other states. And then there's some primaries that are as late as September, Massachusetts and New Hampshire.
Oh, my goodness.
And technically, because of Louisiana's own redistricting, the U.S. House primaries are actually being held on the same day as Election Day in November. So Missouri is not the latest.
Yeah. Well, Orrin, we appreciate you keeping an eye on Missouri for us. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Did you guys vote?
I am going as soon as we get off work.
Yes.
You did, and you voted,
Yes.
Bob.
And you voted.
I voted. I actually brought Finn with me.
Okay.
And he got my sticker.
I love that.
cool. Yeah.
I did get a text, action alert, and it basically says that St. Louis voter turnout is low. Polls close at 7. There's so much at stake in this election. Grab a friend and cast those votes. This is Action St. Louis.
I mean, I'm not surprised. We've got time to maybe talk about this a little more with the listeners. In the 5 o'clock hour, I'm not surprised because it is the August 4th.
Well,
and
it
these are
sneaks
primaries.
up on you, even though we've been talking about it forever.
But these are huge issues.
It's a big deal that we should make sure that we're paying attention. You know, it is why we call this a democracy. It is, you know, it's our option. It's our right. It is our privilege to be able to vote. And, you know, we're celebrating America's 250th birthday. And so, of course, some things have changed, but that's why we get out to the poll to make sure that things are going the way that we want it to go. And here's something really cool. In honor of America's 250th birthday, Window Depot St. Louis is offering you $250 off each window and door with a qualifying purchase. Now, I know that's a big undertaking when you're looking at windows and think, oh, but it is really cool once they're in and you see that electric bill, or maybe it's a gas bill, and you're like, holy cow, energy efficient windows just saved me what? So it's a little cost at the front, but not as much with this great gift from Window Depot. The other thing that's really great about Window Depot USA of St. Louis is Window Depot has this, you know, kind of umbrella. So you've got that buying power of a national business, but you've got the way they do business, the customer service, that is all local. Jason and Angie grew up in St. Peter's. They've learned the value of helping others through their parents, and they are big in the community. If, you know, a t-ball team, a baseball team, a soccer team comes in and needs support, they're going to be there for them, which I think is really, really cool. You can check out that 250th birthday promotion at Window Depot, STL.com. You can give Window Depot a call. Say you heard about it here on the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh and Bob at 636-939-4800. 636-939-4800. But I can promise you this, Window Depot, St. Louis, their motto is we create happy customers, and they do. Ask anybody who has ever done business with Window Depot, and they will say it was a great experience. Again, it's Window Depot, STL.com.
Most car shopping starts online, and lately, shoppers are spending more time at hwkia.com. Recent website reporting shows HW Kia shoppers spend nearly twice as much engaged time on the site compared to other Kia dealer websites. That means people are choosing hwkia.com instead of doing other important internet activities, like watching a guy build a swimming pool out of mud, or looking up, can my dog eat pickles? Why are they staying on hwkia.com nearly twice as long? Because there's more worth looking at. More new Kia inventory, more ways to shop, more ways to check current offers, more ways to value your trade, and more ways to find a payment that works for you. The report also shows hwkia.com shoppers are taking action and engaging through chats, texts, forums, and money-saving website events. So before you bounce from dealership to dealership, start where other shoppers are already spending more time and getting the deal they deserve. Start now at hwkia.com. Research compiled from June and July website traffic.
We talk to you, but you can always talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Call 314-931-5877 and have a conversation with the St. Louis names you know and the St. Louis voices you trust, all on your locally owned hometown radio station. We are KTRS. Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. The House Ethics Committee today formally announced an investigation into Congressman Max Miller for alleged domestic violence and abuse or illegal drug use. Miller has denied allegations. Sources tell ABC News that President Trump called Miller, telling him his re-election campaign's in jeopardy. ABC's Peter Harlambous.
Miller has faced accusations of abuse by at least two different women, former White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham and Emily Moreno, the daughter of Senator Bernie Moreno of Ohio. He told reporters today that he believes Miller's unfit for office.
My daughter lives in constant fear of this man.
Responding to Emily Moreno's accusations, including that he threw her against a wall and held a gun to her head, Miller tried to discredit his ex-wife.
If I had assaulted her, would she have offered to cook me dinner 6 days later?
Miller's running for re-election, and he's denied the allegations, sued both women for defamation, and called for a House ethics investigation into his own conduct. Peter Harlambous, ABC News.
Bails $1 million for a man arrested for allegedly starting the largest of the three wildfires in Spokane, Washington, that destroyed hundreds of buildings and forced tens of thousands of people from their homes. He went to prison for manslaughter in his father's 2010 killing in Arizona. ABC's Alex Stone in Spokane.
Today, some of the evacuation orders are being lifted or they are being at least lessened where people can start coming back. A lot of the evacuees are now able to come in and start seeing what remains.
Acting Attorney General and AG nominee Todd Blanche has been confirmed by the Senate Judiciary Committee. He can only afford to lose 2 Republican votes in the full Senate vote ahead. On Wall Street, the Dow and S&P 500 closed at new records as stocks rallied on hopes of an Iran deal, lower oil prices, and strong corporate earnings. Oil continued to drop, U.S. and Brent crude finishing $75 and $79 a barrel. You're listening to ABC News.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound
888-250-250. Say Mike Rowe and let the savings begin.
Good afternoon. At 4:03, we have a partly cloudy sky, 88 degrees. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News. It is primary election day in Missouri. Polls are open until 7 p.m. In St. Louis County, voters will decide on a new county executive for the first time in more than 7 years. This comes after County Executive Sam Page decided not to seek re-election. The top two Democratic contenders are State Senator Brian Williams and County Assessor Jake Zimmerman. The Republican candidate is Dennis Hancock of Fenton. Voters will also be deciding on a county executive in St. Charles County. Incumbent Steve Ellman faces former Senator Bill Eigel, former Lake St. Louis Mayor Jason Law, and Arnie Dinoff in the Republican primary. The winner will face Democrat David Veneziano in the November election. The number of drownings in Missouri is up significantly this year. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
The Missouri State Highway Patrol reports that 27 people have drowned statewide this year. That marks an increase of nearly 80% from this same time last year. The patrol says warmer weather this year is drawing people to the water, and the late summer period is when drowning numbers tend to increase. The patrol reminds that alcohol and water don't mix and also advises to wear a life jacket and never swim alone. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
U.S. News and World Report has published its rankings of best hospitals nationwide in a number of specialties. Barnes-Jewish is ranked number 1 overall in the state. BJC ranks 21st nationally in cancer treatment. The hospital ranks number 11 for diabetes and endocrinology, number 16 in the nation in neurology, number 21 in lung surgeries, and number 16 for rheumatology treatment. More than 5,000 hospitals were rated. Tonight is the 43rd National Night Out. Among the events going on in our region is in Webster Groves. National Night Out party will be held at Benny Gordon Recreation Center from 6 until 8 this evening. And in St. Anne, the Breckenridge Hills Police Department will hold a National Night Out party at Sims Park from 6 until 9. Governor J.B. Pritzker will be signing 2 bills into law designed to protect Illinois consumers from unfair home and auto insurance rates. Both measures give the Illinois Department of Insurance the authority to review and reject unfair auto and home insurance rates. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Taking a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow closed up 907 points at 54,085. The Nasdaq up 671 points to 26,584, and the S&P up 136 points at 7736. Now for a check of sports and traffic, we say good afternoon to Paul Kofsky.
Good afternoon, Vicki. The Cardinals, who play the Yankees in the Bronx tonight, made some roster moves today. They've called up infielder Cesar Prieto and activated left-handed reliever Caleb Ferguson, whom they acquired yesterday from the Reds. Rookie pitcher Quinn Matthews has been sent back down. And Mizzou football has announced sellouts for both homecoming with Florida and November 7th against Texas. The Tigers entered the 2026 season riding a 20-game sellout streak that dates back to 2023. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. An accident on 64 East before Big Bend is blocking the 3 left lanes with stop-and-go traffic back to Clayton Road. 64 West is heavy from Kings Highway to Big Bend, and it's stop-and-go at times from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to I-70. 5570 East is busy from Exchange to Illinois 111 with the 2 right lanes closed for roadwork. 5570 West running slow between 255 and Illinois 111. 64 East is crowded between Illinois 157 and 159. And 255 North is slow between 64 and Collinsville Road. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And checking our forecast, currently it is 88 degrees and partly cloudy. Overnight we'll have a low of 70 with a mostly clear sky. Mostly sunny tomorrow morning as we head to the upper 80s. Clouds moving in, isolated thunderstorms tomorrow night, lows in the low 70s. Currently it is 88 degrees at the KTRS studios at Westport. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Tuesday afternoon, August 4th, men's soccer national team returning to Energizer Park for game against Chile. The U.S. will take on Chile at Energizer Park on September 29th. The head coach of the men's team, Marcio Pochettino, said that when we talk about soccer culture in this country, St. Louis is one of the great examples. When we joined the men's national team, our first official match at home was in St. Louis against Jamaica, along with the amazing crowd. What we enjoyed the most was the great history and connection to the sport that we felt everywhere we went. This is a city where the national team feels at home. How cool is that?
Very cool.
When is it?
September 29th, the national team announced 4 games to kick off their latest cycle as they begin the qualification process for the 2030 World Cup. Each of the games is in a city that did not host the World Cup matches in this recent competition. Tickets go on sale to the general public Friday at 10 a.m. Prior to that, starting Wednesday, like if you have season tickets to the city, there are certain things that you can maybe get a ticket first, but general public this Friday.
That's terrific. And you're right. When somebody else recognizes you, your city, whatever, and it's just nice for an outsider to recognize.
Absolutely.
And they just signed that coach for another 4 years. He will be our coach for the 2030 World Cup.
The men's national team,
Yeah, Poch. And hopefully, I couldn't believe this when I read this. 3 wins in the World Cup this last time.
Mm-hmm.
2 wins in the group stage and 1 win in the knockout round against Bosnia. The most ever for a U.S. men's national team coach.
Yeah.
3? That's the most?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the tournament was a lot smaller in the past, and the team wasn't as good.
Right.
The team wasn't as good.
Quite honestly, it's that simple.
Well, let's stick with soccer, shall we?
Okay.
Preseason Division I soccer rankings for the men show that Kevin Kalish's St. Louis University Billikens start the season ranked 4th in the country.
Nice.
How about that?
Where'd they end up last year?
Final Four?
Yeah.
Lost in the Final Four.
So
they call it the College
cool.
Cup, but Final Four to you and I.
Yeah.
Here's another, just a little side note. As many of you may know, and for those of you who don't, kind of a mid-major honk. I like the little guys to go up. Of the top 10 in the preseason soccer rankings, 5 of them are from non-power conferences. SLU, Portland, Princeton, Furman, and Bryant are all in the top 10. So that's great. I don't know if I'll get to see the guys and the women working out at SLU pretty soon, but games are coming up right away. So I'll see the first games.
I'm sure you will. My niece she's already had 2 weeks of practice at Butler, and it's intense.
Does she like her team?
Loves. So far, so good.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, we'll stick with sports. The Preakness, that is part of the Triple Crown. It's the one in the middle. So you've got Churchill Downs, that's Kentucky Derby. You've got the Preakness, which is in Maryland, Baltimore, or thereabouts. And then you have Belmont, which is in New York. Out on Long Island. That's the Triple Crown. Well, Churchill Downs and the New York Racing Association just got together and created this 6-race summer spectacular, and they left out the Preakness. They are saying that at this point, because we have reported on this show that the Preakness is generally held 2 weeks after the Kentucky Derby. It's way too close.
And
Not healthy
this
for the
year,
horses.
this year, didn't the winning horse skip the Preakness? Yeah.
And the last 3 horses who have won the Kentucky Derby has skipped because the way that horses are bred and raced these days, it's just too close. 2 weeks is just too close. So they've had a problem, but Churchill Downs and the New York Racing Association kind of got together, went behind the back of the Maryland Racing Club, and created this 6-race summer tournament with a $5 million cash prize at the end, and kind of boxed them out. The headline is the Triple Crown may be dead.
So here are the questions. This is more for Brendan Weesey and his shows, including Sunday mornings. Will the Preakness still run? And will somebody who is a part of the 6-race $5 million thing, will they be allowed to run in the Preakness if they so choose?
That's a great question. And they said in this article that the Preakness will still run, but they might not be attracting the top talent because they might be saving their horses for this other thing.
I got to be honest. Well, you're the degenerate gambler of the group. But I only watch the Triple Crown.
I know.
If
Same.
that.
Right. But I wonder, will we watch more if these are bigger races?
I will not.
Okay.
And I only look at this not from a gambling standpoint, but from a historical standpoint.
Some tradition.
You talk about
Yes.
the Triple Crown winners. Which horses won the Triple Crown? Secretariat.
I wonder who the Preakness ticked off.
Well, that's the thing. It's like they've almost kind of become obsolete with everybody skipping their race, being at the wrong point in the calendar. So can they kind of come back to the table and rearrange this thing?
It almost feels like what the NCAA is doing to college sports.
It's gotten so bad that the government is trying to step in, and that's frightening at any level. Can I do one more quick one here to get out of sports?
Yeah, we got a little time.
Florida restaurant is inviting guests to disrobe on the first Monday of every month for a nude dining experience.
Oh, wow. Where is this?
This is at a place that we're not going.
No, I'm just wondering about the chairs.
I want
Because I don't want to go any other night. Yes.
I want to know so I make sure I'm not there on Mondays. When is it? Mondays?
Mondays,
Right.
once
Okay.
a month. Murad Ali, chef and owner of, okay, here we go, Class Soiree Steakhouse in Hollywood. You think there are metal poles in the...
Yeah.
He says, as a restaurant tour in this tough environment, we have to be remarkable. And remarkable means people are talking. He said the servers, who remain clothed in their usual attire during the private dinners, have been trained to be respectful of unclothed customers. Tickets for the dinner will be $250 for men, $150 for women, $300 for couples. What is going on here? Once you walk through the door, I'll most likely be nude, no clothes on. Yeah, we know what that means. So when you come in, you'll feel more comfortable, says hostess Tasheba Hart. So this is one that
I tell you, I don't know that I want to look around and then eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
That could be a problem.
Okay.
No thanks.
Check, please.
Yeah. Just take my cup of water and go home. Now, there is no such policy at St. Louis County Library. None of the branches. That is
Clothing required.
Not a thing. But I'll tell you what is a thing. There's always something going on. And I mean always. From the author events, which are just fantastic. I mean, the best of the best. Your favorite authors are constantly coming into St. Louis to speak at the Clark Family Branch. But then that Clark Family Branch is so top notch and has so many things besides books. You've got the Emerson History and Genealogy Center. You've got the Teen Creative Lab. You've got St. Louis County Library's Library of Things. Wherever your branch is, you can go in, you can check out GoPro cameras or musical instruments or portable projectors. I mean, I could go through a list that we would be here until 5 o'clock of the things that you can check out that are not books. It's so cool. And it really is a place that has something for everybody. You can learn more about all of it at slcl.org.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Story, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Story Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit lance.law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Jill Farmer from Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They can send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
We are here with the man, Ryan Raphael. He's the Medicare man of St. Louis. Ryan, one of the biggest misconceptions about Medicare when people reach the age of 65 is if they don't sign up at age 65, they get penalized.
So really what happens is when people are approaching 65, they get all the literature and things coming at them that looks like they have to do something. If somebody is working, they really do not have to sign up for Medicare as long as they're part of an employer of 20 or more employees and they can take it out down the road and not pay penalties.
So if you're over the age of 65 and you have not signed up for Medicare, there's no penalty. There's no reason why you can't do it at age 65, 66, or 67,
That
and
is
70.
correct. Yep.
That is Ryan Raphael. If you're approaching 65 and you have questions about Medicare, he is the man. The Medicare man, STL.com, 314-368-6808, Ryan Raphael. And if you don't trust me, trust my nanny. My nanny says he's the best. Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man, MedicareManSTL.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS. This is the Business Journal Report with editor Erik Siemers on the Heidi Glaus Show. Powered by Capital Advisory Group. CapitalAdvisoryGRP.com.
Well, we now know who will be in charge at the airport, at least for the interim. Erik Siemers, the editor, is back to discuss. Thanks for making time for us.
Glad to be here.
So what do we know about Gerald Beckman, who will be, replacing Niebrigi?
Sure. Gerald Beckman this is an interim appointment. And he's a longtime executive at Lambert Airport. He's currently the deputy director of planning and development, basically a right hand to Rhonda Ham Niebrigi, who is stepping down after 16 years as airport director. Mr. Beckman spent nearly spent most of his nearly 4-decade career at Lambert. Been involved in many of the airport's most significant infrastructure projects. He joined in 1988. He was a project engineer, an administrator. So he's had a lot of engineering and project management experience there at Lambert. So, but like I said, his appointment is interim. The airport is in the midst, and the city is conducting a national search for a permanent director. There's a 6-member search committee that's working with executive search firm Korn Ferry, which is one of the biggest in the industry, and Greater St. Louis Inc. to eventually recommend a candidate to Mayor Kara Spencer, because the airport, of course, is owned by the mayor. So this appointment is likely to be a placeholder until they bring in somebody new, because it comes, of course, at a critical time. The airport is in the process of pursuing a roughly $3 billion reconfiguration into a single terminal airport. So whoever will come in full time will have to steward this project through to the finish.
And where do we stand on that project at the moment?
Well, it's not exactly where they want it to be. Ron Hamney told us in July. By this summer, they had hoped to be through what they call the 30% design process, and well on their way to completing 60% design process. These are just increments on the timeline of getting to the a point where you can start construction. They had not quite gotten where they wanted to be by July, and now they're saying they hope to complete 60% design by the end of 2026 or the first quarter of 2027. It's going to take about 4 to 5 years for construction as well after that. So we're still, while they're a bit off the pace of where they'd like to be, I think it's good for local listeners to sort of put in context. This isn't a quick project.
Right. There are new housing projects coming to South City. Who's behind this?
Yeah, these are big ones, and they're being developed by a nonprofit called DeSales Community Development. The two projects, the biggest one is a $25 million development near the border of Carondelet, Dutchtown, and Mount Pleasant neighborhoods. It's pretty sizable. It's called Virginia Plaza. It's going to be about 14 buildings on South Compton Avenue and Virginia Avenue in Carondelet, right near Dutchtown. So it's going to include about 78 apartments, commercial space, gathering areas, and a playground. Most of the property's apartments are to be priced affordably, like for those making the 30% or 6% of the area median income. And some will have market rate rents as well. The other project is mostly a senior living facility that's called Benton Park Place. It's about a $16 million project that will create about 49 apartments for residents age 62 and older. It's going to be a 3-story, 44,000 square foot building on a vacant lot currently that's in Benton Park.
And I want to go back to the other one in South City for a second. Is this at all tied to St. Mary's High School? Didn't they have something that was similar?
Yeah, this seems to be a different project from what I can tell.
Got it. And then another story that you guys have been covering over at the Business Journal, Save-A-Lot is adding a second store, but they have a very specific audience in mind, and this surprised me.
Yeah, this has surprised me too. So Save-A-Lot, of course, is the discount grocery chain that's based here, headquartered here in this region in St. Anne. And so they've been around for a long time. They've got stores all over the country, but they're opening the second location of what they're calling Save-A-Lot EMAS. It's a store that specifically caters to the Hispanic community. Of course, EMAS being and more in Spanish. It's the little bit of Spanish that I know, full disclosure.
Muy bueno.
Yes, but it's going to focus, it's going to have a lot of fresh Hispanic produce and specialty meats and bakery items that cater to the Hispanic population. A lot of the interior signage will be in Spanish. And so this store, the new store they're opening is in Gravois Park, 3427 South Jefferson. It's a follow-up to one that opened in Overland last July, so a year ago. It's interesting because, if you look at St. Louis's demographics as they've changed over time, an area of our population that we have missed out on opportunities on is the Hispanic community. All of the regions that in the country, the metro areas that are outpacing St. Louis in growth, that are climbing over it in terms of the ranks of the largest metro areas, have done so on the power of their ability to attract the Hispanic population.
It's very interesting. Is this the area like of Cherokee Street, Jefferson, down closer to that, where there are so many kind of authentic Mexican restaurants?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Okay.
3427 Jefferson Gravois Park, you're going to be in that general area. But there's not a lot I know about the choices behind these things. This is an initial announcement by the company this week, and we're certainly interested in learning more. It is right, by the way, it is right by Cherokee Street. It's just by Cherokee.
Yeah.
Right by Cherokee and Jefferson is where it's going to be, kind of behind the Fattened Calf.
Okay.
So yes, it's exactly down there in that area. So it is targeting one of the areas in St. Louis that already caters heavily to the Hispanic population. But it's one of those things that if you're looking at St. Louis demographers and folks who want to grow our population, they hope Save-A-Lot has cause to open a lot more of those in the future.
And that's something that we've chatted with some people about at the International Center is the future of the country, the future of some of our cities, since we are not replacing kids and having kids at a fast clip, is immigration. How is St. Louis doing in that when you guys look, the Business Journal, at the landscape?
Well, I mean, I don't have the current numbers, but for the longest time, international immigration into the metro area was the one thing that was keeping our overall population from declining. We were gaining folks in the international migration category, but political administrations, as they change, policies change, immigration becomes a lot harder to complete and it just becomes harder in general.
It's very difficult.
So, very difficult. So I think we're kind of in that same sort of stasis point right now. It's not certainly for lack of effort. There was an announcement last week that Mayor Kara Spencer was going to be featured in an event. I'm looking at the details right now because it was really, really interesting. She is going to be represent the United States at the Mayor's Migration Council meeting in Mexico City. And what's interesting to me about this is that, according to the city, her invitation to this prestigious task force was a result of the city's Office of New Americans. And that was an office put in during Mayor Tishore Jones' administration that its entire purpose is to try to position St. Louis as a place for new immigrants to come in and live here. So the mayor's position on this, on a task force that includes mayors from like Mexico City, Montevideo, Uruguay, Santiago, Chile, Bogota, Colombia, it's putting us directly in those conversations with those countries where people might want to migrate here too. Now, there's a lot of controversy around where migrants are coming from and why they're coming from those countries. And it's a very hot button political topic. I'm just dancing around it here, folks. So,
yeah. But it's very interesting. And always, we so appreciate what you and your team do there at St. Louis Business Journal. Thank you so much for keeping us in the loop, Erik.
Well, glad to do it. Thanks for having me.
We celebrate 250 years of the U.S. independence and 1 year since the Big Beautiful Bill became law. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the #1 best-selling books on taxes, Keep What's Yours and Keeping What's Yours. Let's celebrate our history and take advantage of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Give us a call at 636-394-5524. That's 636-394-5524. Or visit us online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
432. Are you still seeing some issues, Captain Paul?
Well, not too bad, Heidi. An accident on 64 East before Big Bend has cleared, and the residual slowdown back to Clayton Road is thinning out. 64 West is heavy from Kings Highway to McCausland, and it's stop and go from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to I-70. 270 South is congested between Ladue Road and Doherty Ferry, and 64 East is crowded between Illinois 157 and 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
I talked to Mike Ward. You know, he's been on a trip. He was traveling, thanks to Altair Travel and Cruises, on the Danube with some wine enthusiasts. And when I talked to him, the trip just sounded amazing. I've done that trip before on the Danube with Altair, and you start in Budapest and you go all Salzburg. Is just a great way to see so many little villages and big cities, and you get to unpack once and you have your room on the ship, and then you come back after a day of seeing things and have dinner, of which, by the way, when you travel with Alma Waterways, who I traveled with, they're cooking from like fresh things from whatever village you pulled into that day, which is just fantastic. Or maybe it's the beer of that area or the wine. And that's what Altair Travel and Cruises, they get so right. I mean, they really are experts when it comes to planning those trips. And so then when you take off, everything is seamless and you are just making those unforgettable memories, whether it's with family or friends or when you're with Altair Travel, they have so many group trips that even if you don't have a travel companion, they'll hook you up with a group, and I guarantee you'll have 20 best friends by the time it's all over. AltairTravel.com is the website. You can see some of those featured destinations. You can get awesome, great deals when you work with Altair Travel, or you can give them a call, 314-968-9600, 314-968-9600.
With summer already upon us, it's time to think about heat and cooling. If you haven't already, take a look at Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning. Not only are they a local St. Louis company, owned and operated by our neighbors, but they're offering some fantastic promotions right now. The first, get a free second opinion from Indoor Comfort Team. If you're not sure about what another HVAC company has told you, that's all right. Reach out to Indoor Comfort Team, and they'll come out to give a second opinion and some peace of mind. If it turns out you need a new system, they can help with that too. Get $2,000 off a new Train system with no interest financing. You can even get a discount on their VIP maintenance membership program at only $19.99 a month right now. That's 24/7 priority service and support, permanent discounts, tune-ups, and more. Check them out and see why St. Louis has trusted them since 1979. That's IndoorComfortTeam.com or call 314-894-8200.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
One of the great things about living in St. Louis are the great hospitals, and none better than Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. It is a special place, and if you don't believe me, talk to any parent who's had a child who was treated at Cardinal Glennon, and you will see the pride in their face. So for all of the doctors and nurses and staff at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, we thank you for all the work you do day in and day out. To find out more about SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, glennon.org. That's glennon.org.
For the last 33 years, we've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do I hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
What does the Science Center, Lambert Airport, the Magic House, McDonnell Douglas, and St. Louis firehouses all have in common? They all trusted their roof to Beatty Roofing. Beatty Roofing has been in business for 70 years. They're not storm chasers. They're based right here in St. Louis, and they've been doing it right for 70 plus years. And if you need a roofer, Beatty Roofing. In fact, first responders get an extra 10% off all roofs. 314-892-1331 or online, BeattyRoofing.com.
Stay connected with the Big 550 KTRS, streaming 24/7 online at KTRS.com or on the KTRS app. Powered by JBL Financial. Stream Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Wake up, it's a brand new day.
Getting your weekday started the St. Louis way. It's the McGraw Show.
Hey, it's Carl the intern, and on Wednesday's McGraw Show, we will find the heavily awaited results on what 4% of the electorate thinks that should happen in our area, because nobody votes.
McGraw, Millhaven, Rose Dalton, and Carl the intern. Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Right here on your hometown station, the Big 550 KTRS. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Here's a question. We started labeling generations. I'm not sure when we started doing that. Of course, we talk about the World War I, World War II, the greatest generation, right? Then we go straight into boomers from that. Then we've got Gen Z, which is currently 46 to 61, and then it kind of goes. But I think the greatest generation, of course, gets a lot of accolades, but boomers have done quite a bit. And so this is where I'm kind of going to take a back seat, because I feel like in a lot of places, we're making it harder for those people. And I'm like, for example, my parents, if you have to buy tickets all on your phone now, that's not easy for everyone. Now, my mom and dad have, made it work, but I'm not so sure that my father-in-law could ever do that. He doesn't even have a smartphone. But there are some other things, and I want your guys' opinion on this, on the KTRS text line. What drives you crazy that they think that they've made easier that now is a little harder? And I'm thinking mostly at the grocery store. I'll tell you one thing, I will go to the self-checkout line if that is really the only option. If 3 lanes are open and somebody's working there, I'm going to go, because quite honestly, I'd rather talk to the person than go through on my own. But I'll tell you what I always fail to do when it's me doing it by myself. I forget to do my rewards points. I bet half the time I have lost money and not getting that money back because I just forget that that's what I need to do. If there's a person there. So like digital coupons. If you're of a certain age and you used to coupon all the time,
and now they say, go online.
Yeah.
And my dry cleaner, I rarely go to the dry cleaner anymore, as attested by all my wrinkly shirts.
No one would say that to your face.
Right. But I asked the lady, I said, are there any coupons? And she goes, they're all online now. And you got to print them off. Well, I mean, they used to send them to us in the mail.
In the mail,
and you clipped them out. But now they're all online. So if you're not a digital couponer, you miss out. It's creating an extra step. And I don't have a printer at home, so I have to wait until I get to work to
Do you
figure
print
out.
them out, or you show them on your phone once you get there? Because I have been behind people in line. I don't like the coupons. I don't care how much money they save me. I'm not going to do it because I feel like it takes too much time. And I know that is ridiculous and probably stupid. And the money I could be saving.
And we go to McDonald's a lot these days. I'm a bad parent. I'll admit it. But I cave easily. but we should be ordering through the app and then pulling up and giving them our app code because it'll register us points. I just forget to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you do with the points and how do you redeem it?
And you probably, get $1 off this, get $1 off
You
that.
said probably.
I don't know how it works.
That's my point.
And I will say, though, I
don't
use
either.
my points at Deerbergs and Schnucks, quite honestly, because I signed up on both of those for wine clubs. And I tallied the other day, Marcia said, "Oh, I used some of your points at Schnucks." And I said, "You did what?" I had $17 banked on that.
Yeah.
That if you want your points, go start your own account.
Whoa.
I
went
mean,
to
Trouble in
Deerbergs.
paradise.
Woo.
I went to Deerbergs yesterday, and she goes, "You got $1. Do you want to use it?" And I said, "Well, heck yeah, I want to use
See,
it."
I let it get to a certain point, and then I cash them.
The only
It's
one
a game.
Now, we have points at all these places, but Jen does it. She runs the whole show. I think that's been pretty obvious
Right.
for the last
We
couple
know
years.
that.
You know that. The only one I will do is because it's real easy. It pops up on its own at Walgreens.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It pops up and I go, okay,
And you're already looking down at it anyway, and there's a specific, you can't even do anything else until you do it.
every now and then I'll redeem it, but usually I say, roll it over and let
That's
my
it.
wife take it.
Let's see how
Yeah.
far we can go. Convenience stores are not very convenient anymore on the text line.
I want to know specifically what that person means.
what did you mean by that?
Yeah,
Well,
what does that mean?
I went, and I'm trying to think of where we are. I think we were on the road coming back from Indianapolis, and it was the first time I had been. I don't think this was a QT, but it was something similar. It was very clean, and it was a fantastic gas station like that. And you had to check out there by yourself.
Oh, really?
And I haven't
Huh.
seen that at those sorts of stops. Somebody said I have over $160 on my Schnucks rewards. I only use them once a year during Thanksgiving. That is smart.
That is really smart.
Why is that smart, though?
Because you don't want to, because your budget is your budget.
Yeah.
And if at Thanksgiving you've got 15 people coming over, now your grocery bill is way higher. But if you've saved those rewards, now it doesn't throw your monthly budget
And
out of whack.
if they don't even say you have $15 or you have $1, all of a sudden you get there and you do have $100 saved up. And it's like you just kind of want a little scratch off.
Now, when you go at Thanksgiving, you don't care. You're letting it rain, man. You're just throwing the cash
I'm
out.
Mr. Dollars over here. Somebody said, I think the points thing was created by the government to track whatever everybody's buying so they know what you're buying and where. I would say not the government, but corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely wants to know what you're buying, when and how.
And how much.
And how much and what are you using to buy, because they use that information to
Sell you
retarget
more.
ads and sell you more of it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't, your tinfoil hat's on, it's just on backwards.
Well, I think too, is there a benefit for stores like that to then properly restock items so that they're not out? I
think
don't
so.
know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think that's probably part of it. We ran into Tally at Schnucks the other day.
Oh, I haven't seen Tally in a while.
Finn really likes him.
Tally
Bob, you
is
know who
the
Tally is?
robot.
He's
that
the
is-
robot that
Oh.
he's got cameras all over him.
Oh, what store is this?
Schnucks. And he's
I
got
did not know that.
a little screen with eyeballs. It kind of looks like a mouth. He drives up and down the aisles. He sounds like this. And Finn always likes to visit him while my
Mhm.
wife is off shopping. We're me and
Talking
Finn
to the robot.
are running around the store looking for the robot. But
I mean, her two children.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
my wife brings her two kids to the
Uh-huh.
supermarket. She
Oh,
has
I want a
complained about
lollipop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she has complained about that before. That guy will check the shelves. I think, though, that the biggest draw to the point system and giving us cash back is so they know how much we're buying. They want to know our shopping habits, and they use that to Bob's point, sell us more.
Yeah. Somebody else said all the apps on your phone. No, I don't want to add your app. That's Susie. And Susie, I agree. I kind of put my foot down
Me
and
too.
don't want to do it. Somebody said I save all my perks till the holidays, Sam's Cash,
Smart.
Schnucks savings, etc.
I think we need to start doing that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
My mom buys all of her groceries online and has them delivered to her house. She does online banking. She takes a picture of a check.
Yeah, I
and
do that
upload-
too.
I don't even know how to do that stuff. So I don't think it's all boomers. But like when we give out free baseball tickets,
Mm-hmm.
you have to download the MLB
Yes.
app to get
Yeah.
them. There's no such thing as tickets anymore.
No, which is disappointing because saving your tickets
Was
to
something.
concerts
Now,
and things
I
like
will
that.
say this: the Muni still has a paper ticket,
Well,
and
good
I
for
love
them.
it.
Good for
And
them.
if you'll see, like I kind of save some of them or play bills, and have a kind of a collection going.
That's neat.
Back in our office. Can we do it back in the day?
Yes. If you just give me 1 second.
Okay.
We're looking now, searching, shuffling.
Hang on.
Moving.
Here
Just
we
doing the
go.
play-by-play.
All right. Here we
Hey, they found it.
go.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
Heidi and Bob, back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
on this date, August 4th, 1790, the Coast Guard began.
1790.
1790.
Huh.
They started out as the Revenue Cutter Service, what later became, as we know, the Coast Guard.
Okay.
1892, Lizzie Borden had an axe, gave her father 40 whacks when she saw what she had done, gave her mother 41. Isn't that weird that the kids on the playground are...
I never heard this until I got to St. Louis. This was not
Oh,
something I
really?
knew about. Nope.
She was arrested, but later acquitted.
So who really did it?
Well, I think she did. But maybe it was on... I don't know. We'd have to look that story up.
Okay.
1914, on this date, August 4th, Britain declared war on Germany. The United States was still neutral. They wouldn't enter the war until 1917. 1922, AT&T and the Bell Systems shut down all their switchboards in memory of Alexander Graham Bell, who had died 2 days earlier.
I've
Bet
never
they didn't
heard
get any
that.
complaints on that, did they?
1922, all 13 million telephones went dead for 1 minute in his honor.
Huh.
How about that?
That's crazy.
1987, the FCC voted 4-0 to rescind the Fairness Doctrine, which required radio and television stations to present balanced coverage
Yes.
of controversial issues. So if anyone ever wants to call us or text us and say, you need to have this candidate on because of the Fairness Doctrine, it ain't anything anymore.
Yeah.
And it hasn't
Yeah,
been
bub.
since 1987.
Give me yeah, bub.
Bub.
But I would say most TV stations, at least, live by that premise.
I think so too.
We try.
Yeah.
We try. All right. And then on this date in 1987, the soundtrack to Dirty Dancing was released.
I've had the time of. All right.
Didn't Swayze sing a song
Yes.
on that soundtrack?
He certainly did.
She's like the wind?
Mm-hmm. 10 minutes before 5. Is traffic moving like the wind or more like a snail, Captain Paul?
Julie, generally the roads are looking good. 64 West is busy though from Kings Highway to McCausland, and it's bumper to bumper and stop and go from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to I-70. 270 South is congested between Olive and Manchester. In Illinois, 64 East is jammed between Illinois 157 and 159, and 5570 East is slow from Illinois 157 to 159. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or have the Rack House cater your next event with box lunches or buffets to accommodate groups of 10 to 200 people. The Rack House, featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Multiple states, including Georgia, Minnesota, Michigan, have reported possible cyber intrusions targeting water and wastewater utilities. Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge of the FBI, joins us with his take on all of this. What do we know at this hour?
So it appears that an Iranian-backed hacking group, one that's a proxy of Iran, somehow was able to get into 7 different states' water supply systems, and it was through possibly a vulnerability in some of the devices that they have on these water supply systems that control the on-off of the system itself. And once it was identified and the vulnerability was identified, they have now put out a warning. The FBI, CSIS, DHS, EPA, they've all put out a warning, basically telling the water supply systems around the country to look for this device, also to look for this vulnerability, if they've identified it, either replace it or patch it, and then also, basically be ready to go to turning it on and off manually, as opposed to using cyber in case, for some reason, the hackers are able to get back into the system.
So a couple things. One, I'm an avid reader of James Patterson, and one of his detectives had to, actually it was Alex Cross, if somebody had poisoned the water and people were getting sick and dying. So the grid, whether it's water, electric, whatever, we've always feared that it could be a target, right?
Correct. There are basically, I think it's either 14 or 17 parts of our critical infrastructure, and each of them are controlled in some capacity through cyber. And we have been worried for years about making sure that all of the infrastructure is protected. So the water supply, could they turn off, power? So with the electric grid, can they attack the hospitals? Can they attack our energy supply? In other words, whether it's gas, oil, or nuclear. All of these different areas, really since after 9/11, have been the focus of DHS and identifying how to protect each of these very important systems.
So, Rich, we've been hearing about the Internet of Things, and for some reason, our thermostats are connected to the internet. Our refrigerators have a Wi-Fi connection. I still don't understand that, but our water supply, our electric grid, all of this stuff is online and open to hacking.
Well, hopefully not open to hacking, but yes, it's online, and that's. But you actually nailed it on the head right there. The potential for hacking is there, and so the way I describe it is, you just can't lock the door and then go to bed at night.
Yeah.
You now have to lock the door, and you have to go back every half hour and make sure that no one's jimmying it. So that's the way I'm looking at cybersecurity. You put on the systems, you make sure they're very good systems, but then you have to keep testing them yourselves, making sure that there are no holes. If there are holes, you patch them right away. And if you're doing that, then the chance of hacking into these systems becomes much less.
Very interesting. So do we think that this now has been taken care of, or are more states at risk?
I think at this point, it's taken care of because the warnings have gone out, and all of the states, municipalities, they're on notice. So hopefully all of them, including the one in my town, hopefully they're all aware of this vulnerability, and they have now done the patch, or they have replaced the item where the vulnerability was. But like I said, hopefully they're also testing if this happens again, do they know how to turn it off and on manually?
Rich, in your expert opinion, is this just the beginning of more attacks like this on other parts of our infrastructure?
Yes and no. I don't think this is the beginning. I think we're right in the middle of it, and I think it's going to continue on. And part of that reason is because there is so much out there for us to protect, and you have these hackers, and all they do 24 hours a day is I look for vulnerabilities. So if, we've protected 99% of the systems, but they find that 1%, then we're going to be facing this again, or in a different part of the infrastructure. And that's, again, why we always have to be, on an aggressive defense as they're on their attack.
So, Rich, we've heard of Russian hackers. North Korea has hacking farms. China, I'm sure. Iran in this instance. But as far as the United States go, do we have a proficient group of hackers of our own, or in the case like this, people who prevent hacking?
Yeah, there's quite a big group that does, I think they call it red hatting, where they basically become the equivalent of an attacker, and they look for these vulnerabilities, and they are employed, throughout the government and the military, working, almost as a practice attack, and looking for these vulnerabilities. And a lot of these, red hatters are actually hackers who have, come over, seen the light, or they were doing that when they were in college, and now that they have real jobs, they're working, for the larger companies, but protecting them. So we do have people who are out there doing that. Again, it's just, the opportunity for hacking is so great because everything that we do now is controlled by some type of cyber. I used to have an electric, lock on my door. I think I'm probably the only guy now who has a regular deadbolt. So you can't get into my office anymore unless you kick in the door.
Huh.
Wow.
Very interesting. I'm sure this will be a topic we discuss often in the future. Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge of FBI, thank you so much for joining us with your input.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the Talk of St. Louis.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Due to the overwhelming success of Country Club Car Wash's summer sparkler promotion, they're extending it until further notice. At Country Club Car Wash, make sure it says country, you can buy 2 ultimate washes and get 2 free. That's a total of 4 ultimate exterior washes for only $52 at Country Club Car Wash, or $92 gets you 4 ultimate exterior washes and 4 interior cleanings. Available in-store or online, cccwstl.com. Country Club Car Wash, cccwstl.com/summer-sparkler, cccwstl.com.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers.
I'm Chuck Severson. Bail is set at $1 million for a man arrested for allegedly starting the largest of the 3 wildfires in Spokane, Washington. Flames melted electric and gas lines, says ABC's Alex Stone in Spokane, seeing repair crews.
There's actually a dozer that they're bringing in next to us that they're going to be backing in, where there are fire crews right here trying to dig line and clean up the area. But what they're doing is building a road so power crews can get in and try to rebuild the power line. So they're actively doing that right now.
The man arrested went to prison for manslaughter in his father's 2010 killing in Arizona. The House Ethics Committee is doing what Ohio Republican Congressman Max Miller publicly urged them to: begin an investigation into him for alleged domestic violence and abuse or illegal drug use. Miller has denied allegations that he abused his now ex-wife and daughter, saying Miller is unfit to remain in Congress. His ex-father-in-law, Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno, saying of his granddaughter,
she's going to have high-definition videos. She's going to have news stories. She's going to have everything out there. She's going to read that as an adult going, what the heck happened?
Sources tell ABC News President Trump called Miller about his re-election campaign. ABC News Washington managing editor Catherine Falders.
Trump expressed concerns over his candidacy and said it was in jeopardy. Now, according to sources, Miller did tell Trump that he was going to stay in the race.
Acting Attorney General and AG nominee Todd Blanche has been confirmed by the Senate Judiciary Committee. A full Senate vote is ahead. Blanche can only afford to lose 2 Republican votes. If he makes it, says ABC News legal contributor James Sample.
Technically speaking, what changes is the title. Practically speaking, what changes is very little.
Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine says she'll vote no on Blanche's nomination. In a statement, Collins says, while I believe Mr. Blanche is a capable lawyer, the Department of Justice has become increasingly political. The mayor says Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, is under a ballistic missile attack. You're listening to ABC News.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
It's been a tough Saturday on the lake. I ordered swim trunks in this orange cream color, but it's actually more orange auburn. Oh, and it's swimwear. I probably can't even return these.
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Good afternoon. It is 88 degrees under a partly cloudy sky at 5:03. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News. St. Louis Metropolitan Police are investigating a shooting involving a St. Louis Sheriff's deputy. It happened in the Dutchtown neighborhood this morning. Police say a City of St. Louis Sheriff's deputy was on an assignment around 10 o'clock this morning in the 3600 block of Montana Street. The deputy, who was using his personal vehicle, left the car running and unattended while walking up to a home. That's when a man got into the deputy's vehicle and took off. The deputy chased the car on foot for several blocks. The sheriff's deputy says the individual began reaching for something inside the vehicle. Deputy. The suspect was shot twice and transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No one from law enforcement was injured. U.S. Senator Josh Hawley has chaired the first Senate hearing investigating AI surveillance pricing. The Senate Judiciary Subcommittee hearing today looked to expose the practice of corporations harvesting personal consumer data and using that data with AI to charge exorbitant prices. The hearing was titled Your Data, Their Profit, the Consumer Cost of AI Surveillance Pricing. Senator Hawley is the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee on Crime and Counterterrorism. There is a new interim director for St. Louis Lambert Airport. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer appointed Gerald Beckman to replace Rhonda Niebrugge, who is retiring after more than 16 years as airport director. He has been the airport's deputy director of planning and development. Beckman began with Lambert Airport back in 1988 as a project engineer. From 1995 to 2000, he was administrative engineer and engineering manager. Now, he left in 2000 for roles at Jacobs Engineering and HR Green. He returned to the airport in 2009 as assistant airport director and became deputy airport director in 2013. In this role, he oversaw engineering, planning, environmental operations, and IT for the airport. Beckman will begin his new position on August 16th. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Taking a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement, Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow closed up 907 points at 54,085. The NASDAQ up 671 points to 26,584. And the S&P closed up 136 points at 7736. Now for a check of sports and traffic, we say good afternoon to Paul Kopsky.
Good afternoon, Vicki. The Cardinals, who play the Yankees in the Bronx tonight, made some roster moves today. They've called up infielder Cesar Prieto and activated left-handed reliever Caleb Ferguson, whom they acquired yesterday from the Reds. Rookie pitcher Quinn Matthews has been sent back down. And Mizzou running back Ahmad Hardy has been named to the Maxwell Award watch list. Hardy continues his return to play plan, which currently doesn't include taking part as a full participant in practice. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. 64 West is busy from Kings Highway to Clayton Skaker, and it's heavy and slow from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to I-70. 64 East bogs down at 170. 270 South is congested between 64 and Manchester and from 44 to Gravois. In Illinois, 64 East is jammed between Illinois 157 and 159, and 5570 West is slow from 255 to Illinois 111. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Checking the weather, currently 88 degrees and partly cloudy. We'll have a mostly clear night overnight with a low around 70. Partly sunny tomorrow, a high in the upper 80s. Clouds moving in with isolated thunderstorms tomorrow night, a low in the low 70s. Currently, it is 88 degrees at the KTRS studios at Westport. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
Hey, it's Julie Buck. Are you always struggling to find the perfect gift? Well, we have the solution for you. You can try a signature facial or a teen facial gift certificate. Have you heard about the Only Facial? They've got one in Clayton, Des Peres, Creve Coeur, Frontenac, St. Charles, Sunset Hills, U City, Columbia, and Springfield, Mo, Edwardsville, Illinois, and now open in Webster Groves and coming soon to Cottleville. This is a top-rated facial spa that only does facials, and there are no upsells and no gratuities accepted. One price for everything, and that price is $125. The signature facial consists of several steps customized to your unique skin types and concerns. The Only Facial is the best thing going. So check them out online at theonlyfacial.com. And if you're an esthetician, they're hiring at The Only Facial. Find out more about all of it on their website. It's theonlyfacial.com.
Your retirement isn't just numbers on a statement. It's your family, your time, and your future. Listen to the Financial Safari with Greg Belger. Sundays at 5 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
A piece of SpaceX rocket is about to hit the moon. Alex Varela, national correspondent for News Nation, is following that story and joins us with what he's learned. Thanks for making time for us.
Hey, it's great to be with you.
So how big is this piece of space junk?
It's pretty big. It's about roughly 5 stories tall if we were equated to a building. It's the upper portion of a massive Falcon 9 rocket that's been floating up there. So, yeah, it's pretty sizable.
And so is this sort of thing normal, that pieces of space junk this large go hurling at the moon?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty scary. It sounds like maybe something out of a bad fiction novel. It is pretty normal. Anybody that knows deep space exploration knows that space junk has been a topic of conversation for quite some time. I mean, we have the saying, what goes up must come down, but that's not always true, especially with the things that we're sending up to orbit. There's quite a lot of debris from former missions that are just kind of floating out there. And this one did get caught within the lunar orbit, and that's the reason why it's slowly but surely been hurtling towards that lunar surface. It's not completely out of the ordinary. The last time something like this impacted the moon was 2022. It was a Chinese spacecraft at the time.
And so this, because it's we believe in the lunar orbit, is it for sure going to crash into the moon?
Oh, yeah. At this point, it's a foregone conclusion.
Okay.
The scientists have run the physics and the mathematics and predicted that it will smash into the lunar surface 2:30 Eastern tonight, or I guess tomorrow morning.
Will there be an explosion? Will telescopes be able to see anything?
Yeah, actually, this will be crashing on the side of the moon that is visible from Earth. People in sort of North America and Central America will have the best view of it. If you have a really good telescope, and even some scientists have said really great pair of binoculars, you should be able to see some of those lunar dust fly up into the moon's atmosphere as soon as it makes impact. But this is a great thing for the scientists out there, because they're actually seeing this as an opportunity to just better understand what happens when foreign objects crash into the moon. Think about the fact that we want to put a lunar base on the moon's surface within the next 10 to 15 years. So having, moments like this where they can actually observe it impact and see what the repercussions are going to make future astronauts a lot more safe.
So are there any kind of repercussions here on Earth? Will we feel anything? Will anything eventually come back down?
No, not at all. I mean, it will create a pretty massive impact. They're saying it's going to be about 16-foot deep crater.
Whoa.
It's going to be flying about 5,400 miles per hour. That's roughly 7 times the speed of sound. And it's going to make quite an explosion that, again, should be visible with telescopes, but nothing that will actually come raining down on Earth.
Got it.
And is there going to be a dent left? I mean, like if I get the telescope out.
Crater.
Yeah. Tomorrow night, will I look up there and, there's a new crater now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what they're looking at and what they're going to be observing. I mentioned the crash that happened in 2022, a crashing Chinese spacecraft, smashed into the moon's surface. And then all of a sudden, there are 2 new massive craters on the lunar surface. So something similar to that will happen, and we'll be able to see it beginning tomorrow.
And it's everybody talks about space. Oh, how wide open and expanse it is, and space junk. Well, there's a lot of room up there to get around, so it's not really that big of a deal. How is it possible that this thing is actually going to hit the moon?
Yeah, I mean, I guess everything has sort of a direction. It's not just standing in stillness up there. It is flying around depending on the trajectory it was last propelled. And ultimately, this one got caught in the Earth's orbit. And so it's not, we're not thinking about a beeline path for this thing from space to the moon. It is in an Earth's orbit, but slowly but surely it gets tighter and tighter until slowly it's pulled by the moon's, albeit lighter than the Earth's gravitational force, but it does get pulled slowly and surely until it does make that impact.
All right, I looked it up. It's a waning gibbous moon, 65% of illumination tonight. So if you guys want to try it, 1:30 Central. Is anybody saying in the international community, in the scientific community, how irresponsible this might be?
Yeah, so there was a thing that was developed called the Artemis Accords about 6 years ago, and it's essentially a non-binding agreement by, I think, something more than 30 countries in the world, particularly the ones that are really responsible for deep space exploration, which is essentially signing on to an agreement that, look, we are all going to explore the final frontier, maybe not always together, but in unison. And we're going to share the data that we find so that way we can help humankind in advancement. And then alongside just deep space exploration, it also talks about the responsibility of it and trying to, be good stewards of our universe and making sure that if space debris is left behind, it's done in a responsible way, or that we just try to limit it altogether. And so this is an ongoing conversation. It sounds like something that, all of us should be concerned about because we don't want things just crashing into our moon.
Yeah.
But at the very same time, like I said at the beginning, more scientists are excited about this opportunity than they are nervous or fearful about it. Again, this provides a great opportunity to gather real data because you can't predict when something's going to come crashing into the moon until you can. And this is an opportunity where they can, and so they can watch it, they can observe it, and they can actually make true data out of it.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what those scientists have to say tomorrow. Alex, thank you so much for joining us.
You bet. Thanks so much for having me.
So, kind of like Alex just said, you can't always predict it. You can't always. Well, here's something you can do. You can be on the forefront of your HVAC systems and making sure you're doing the right checkups with that. But you got to have the right team on your side because, you and I can change some filters. Maybe you can do a little bit more than that, but you really want a talented team when it comes to fixing your HVAC systems, especially when we deal with the kind of heat we deal with here in St. Louis. And Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning, they are a team that has been trusted since 1979. You don't make it that long without having customers that believe in you, and they have for all of these years. Now, not everything is going to go perfectly, but here's the deal. Adam, who owns Indoor Comfort, they always finish it perfectly. Adam knows his clients by name. He shares his cell phone. I mean, he really cares about his customers and even considers them neighbors, not just customers. They can handle any job possible. And that's because they are small enough to truly care, but big enough to handle anything that your HVAC system might be doing. You can reach Indoor Comfort Team at 314-894-8200. That's 314-894-8200, or find them online at indoorcomfortteam.com.
Relive the magic of the 1904 World's Fair when the heartwarming hometown favorite Meet Me in St. Louis returns to the Muni stage August 6th through 13th. Sponsored by Commerce Bank and Commerce Trust Company. Your seats are waiting at muni.org.
Appliance Discounters is a place you need to know about, because if you're looking for an appliance, Appliance Discounters is the place to go. They're the #1 appliance store in St. Louis with 5 beautiful showrooms. When you buy an in-stock appliance from Appliance Discounters, they can deliver it to you the next day. How in the world can Appliance Discounters do this? Well, they have a 50,000 square foot warehouse filled with appliances ready for delivery. Name brand, factory warranties, and factory rebates. And don't worry about paying more if you're in a hurry. Right now at Appliance Discounters, they're offering an additional 5% off their everyday low prices. Appliance Discounters is your locally owned hometown appliance store. 12 months, interest-free financing. Use their money, not yours. Huge factory rebates in addition to their everyday low prices. Why in the world would you go anywhere else? Appliance Discounters open Monday through Saturday, never on Sundays. Shop online 24/7, theappliancediscounters.com.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They could send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's the roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Hey, St. Louis, temperatures are rising, and if your AC isn't blowing cold enough, trust the experts at AAA Home Services. For 56 years, they've been fixing it right the first time. Our expert technicians are qualified to work on any system with any issue. We can even perform your annual maintenance on your air conditioner before it gets too hot. And if you need an estimate on a new system, we can do that too. For 56 years, St. Louis has trusted AAA for heating and cooling, electrical, plumbing, and appliance repair needs. Call 636-397-3200. Online at AAASTL.com. Call AAA. We're on our way.
As we enter into the summer months, you might be thinking windows and doors. Yeah, and where are you going to go? You have lots of options when it comes to windows and doors. Let me tell you about a St. Louis company that everybody should know about. It's called WSWindow.net. It's run by Larry Thornton and his son, Joe. And they've been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 38 years. They do most of their work with a handshake and a smile. There is no high-pressure sales. There is no jacking up the prices and then try and bring you down as they demand some type of signature on the dotted line. They'll shake your hand and say, we hope to hear from you. And they have been successful. They beat the big boys at their games for all these many years because they do it right. They have long-time installers, long-time employees. The Window Store. If you need windows, if you need doors, you want a great price, and you want to keep it in the St. Louis family. That's Larry and Joe Thornton. The Window Store. WSWindow.net. WSWindow.net.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
We were talking about a couple of things that companies or stores do now to make things maybe more complicated for people in that boomer generation. Somebody said the online crap is not easy for many of us, which, you know what, how many times do you get something, maybe you've ordered it from Amazon or picked it up, and you have to go and download instructions instead of just pulling out the piece of paper.
Oh my gosh.
Which is crazy.
So I just switched and reconnected the cord.
I heard you say that yesterday when I was driving back.
For those who don't know, you mean cable television.
Cable television. I've got an update on trying to cancel my AT&T internet from last time, but this box shows up in my house. They don't send the technician over anymore.
Nope.
I was stunned. They don't even have a box anymore. Everything, like my parents have a box. I wonder, they're boomers, 75, 76 years old. I wonder if they called Charter and said, can I get a box, an old-fashioned box, so I don't have to do everything streaming?
I think the box
through
got
an app?
eliminated
I thought it did too.
4 or 5 years ago.
I know my parents, it's all streaming.
We still have
like direct TV, but it is a streaming
Only.
direct TV. I don't think there's I don't see a box.
We have boxes, one downstairs and one upstairs.
We've got
But
boxes.
We've had them for a number
Yes.
of years. I think when that fails,
It will
or
be phased out.
Yeah, I think so too.
We've got boxes here at the Big 550 KTRS. That's how I changed the channel in studio. My parents have a box, but they sent this thing over. It was the router, it was a modem, and it was a piece of paper with a QR code
To follow along.
that said, if you want to know, you need help setting this up, click the QR code. And, you know, like I said, my mom is good at stuff, but I don't know if she would have been able to do all that.
It's hard. And I will say we've had issues with my father-in-law on this because, he lives on his own, and we were trying to figure out the best way to get him TV because he just wants to watch sports. And unfortunately, just over the air, that's not enough. He needs his ESPN.
Yep.
He needs to see as much as possible. So we decided we'd go with YouTube, just a separate account for him in Tipton, Missouri. Well, it's worked for about 4 months, maybe longer. And then all of a sudden, something with Marsha's credit card cued them in on she wasn't in the same city as he was. Even though I have a YouTube channel, we still have it at our house and are paying a separate account. It was causing so many issues because he doesn't have a smartphone. And so when it was time to then click it and try to reset everything up, we were calling in-laws and to get over there and do it. And finally, we just canceled it under her name, added it under somebody's name in Tipton, and hopefully it's going to work now. But talk about a pain.
Yeah.
And all you're trying to do is provide a little bit of, joy to him so he has something going on there at his apartment.
And everything now, and it's probably, two-form factor identification. It's probably making things safer so people don't steal our identities. But everything now, you go to log in, they say, well, we just emailed you or we just texted you a code. Enter the 6-digit code we just texted
Absolutely.
you. If you don't have a smartphone, I don't know how you do that.
This is going to put me in the okay boomer category.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
I think
so it fits.
I think Heidi and I have both just expressed our
It's hard,
frustration.
But let me give you, if I'm on TV, whether it's streaming or whatever it is, and it's asked for a login,
You're
I'm not
out.
watching it. I'm not watching it.
Do you know the code?
No, of course not.
So you're
No, they're
just
probably
putting your
written
foot down.
They're probably written down somewhere.
Uh-huh.
I just want to turn my TV on and watch TV.
It's hard.
I'm not doing it. So there's my okay boomer.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. I'm not logging in.
Yeah. Somebody said that they have a box on every TV when they want to do Spectrum cable.
All right. To Bob's point, was that a legacy thing?
Mhm.
Have you had that on your TVs? Because I don't think they've changed out our boxes here at the Big 550 for 6 years. These are pre-COVID boxes.
This might be post. The latest ones we got, I don't know how long, but it's been several years.
Yes.
And we might have been the last ones to get
to
them.
have it. Remember when if you did switch, you had to then take the box and the remote back into whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Those stores don't even exist anymore, do they?
Here's what I'm going through right now with AT&T. Number one, I tried to remember when they said a couple of years ago that there was a new law, one button, one click to cancel, whether it was, your Netflix or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The websites, the companies had to create a very easy way to turn off your subscriptions or to cancel your whatever. Well, apparently that law never went through.
No, because you've got to jump through 1,000 hoops.
Because I tried to turn it off. I was able to turn off my Hulu, but I tried to turn off my internet, and they want you to call. And then now you're on hold forever.
They want you to call, but they're not going to answer.
No.
And then they wanted to do this thing where rather than sit on hold, why don't we call you back? I said, okay, fine. And then the whole time the lady was like, well, are you sure you don't want to rejoin for $65? And it was just a hassle. And then for the equipment thing, there is no store anymore.
Right.
So they said, take it back to a UPS and they'll give you a box. So they rely on the UPS store now to return your modem and your equipment and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not doing that either.
Mary Beth says we have Spectrum, and the only TV that does not have a box is our smart TV. Our older TVs do have cable boxes. And I think we've just slowly gotten rid of every TV that wasn't a smart TV when we cut the cord.
Well, Josh has gone back to the cable cord.
Yes, I did hear that.
And I think we're probably this coming weekend, we're going to, I think we'll still be a hybrid of DirecTV and some streaming, but we've got to trim it down.
It's
insane.
It is insane, and it's about every nickel and dime. Yeah. It's funny, though. I thought that I still had my Netflix, and then I went to it, and it was like, oh, you're no longer. So I'm like, okay, well, I did cut that one off.
There you go.
So let's go to the next option to watch whatever it is that I was trying to watch. We were talking about boomers, but how about this? Gen Zers and their workplace culture reportedly revolves around micro joys. 79% of young adults say taking short breaks makes their workday more enjoyable and helps them perform better at work. And I'm wondering, Marsha and I were discussing this on our way home from Nashville yesterday, how back in the day when she started her first job at Hewlett-Packard, there was kind of a good old boys club. She started smoking to go out for smoke breaks.
Yeah.
Just to kind of be seen.
To be in the club. She hadn't smoked prior.
Yeah. And she just wanted to be out there to kind of learn what she could and be one of the guys. It's also why she took golf lessons. Same sort of thing. So you could be out in front of that. But maybe this is the same thing as it was back then. Back then we took smoke breaks and it was okay. Now maybe a little micro joy during the day, stepping outside for fresh air, maybe just chatting with coworkers for a second. Maybe it's grabbing a snack or, going down to get Starbucks for a second. I don't know.
We don't have real jobs, so it's hard to really understand what a 9-to-5-er does.
Yeah.
This is a new thing?
Well,
this sounds like...
I think that the difference is these guys, Gen Z, right? They demand it. Whereas we maybe... would take it.
We just did it.
Josh go?
Or you kind of felt guilty for it for a second, and they don't.
Josh, do you feel guilty about it?
No. No, we've been doing this for 100 years, if not longer.
You have.
Wow.
5:32. Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, we just had an accident pop up. It's a crash on 270 South at Ladue Road, blocking the left lane and causing a slight slowdown. 270 South is also congested between 64 and Doherty Ferry. 64 West, busy from Kings Highway to McCausland, and it's heavy and slow from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to I-70. 64 East bogs down around 170. In Illinois, 64 East is jammed between 157 and 159, and 5570 West is slow from 255 to Illinois 111. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
How about this? Which this was the case for a while because I know that my mom had recorded certain episodes of things that I had done. Somebody said we have 2 boxes from Spectrum that are very expensive, but I have things I recorded on them as far back as 2020.
Oh, that would be the old DVR style, right?
That you don't want to get rid of if you want to go back.
Yeah, what do you do with those? Can
That's
you
still
forward
on
that
there?
to something?
Well, you've had Charter for at least 6 years. See, I said yesterday, once you get past that 2-year introductory price, then they jack it up.
Well, they do, but do you really want to go through that hassle, or do you just pay the whatever it is? I mean, I think a lot of people just go, okay.
I mean, my in-law said $230, and that just seems a bridge too far. $230 a month for TV and internet.
Oh, I think we're there.
Yeah, we are too. That's why we got to cut it down.
Well, that's why I made the switch. And then maybe in this process, I'll realize maybe I don't even need what I have now, and maybe do that thing where I just drop down to an antenna, internet.
You
and
will
a
never
couple of
do that,
streaming
but
services.
well, then your gambling's going to go out the window too.
No,
because you
because
won't be able to watch anything.
You buy the ESPN package. You can buy that separately.
Yeah, but then you're going to do that, and you're going to pay. It all just adds right back up, and that ESPN package is the same thing. Give it 2 years, and then it's going to go up $10. And then if you want to watch this specific, I mean, ESPN package would be great. They don't have many WNBA games. We have to go to Prime to have like kind of the league pass because all of those games. Now, occasionally it's on ION or it's on ABC but not if you want to watch most of the games.
I'm curious if people subscribe to Prime for the TV alone, just for the movies and the streaming services, or in our household,
it's for the other benefits of shopping.
For the shopping.
I do it for the TV.
And the TV is all just bonus.
The kids got us onto the Prime for the shopping first, but then I started watching City Soccer on that.
Yeah.
And so that was sort of otherwise I had never been on it.
Would you ever get rid of it?
Prime?
Yeah.
I'm not just for the W. And I don't really, I mean, they can continue to jack it up, but that's
what you want to watch.
That's what we want to watch. And it's almost every night.
Again, I'll ask the question again for the texters. Does anyone subscribe to Prime just for the television benefits? Or were you like Bob and I, and you got in on the free deliveries, and now everything is just bonus after that?
Yeah, and the thing I think we're going to do, our first call will be to DirecTV, and I'll express my displeasure. I'm ready to leave. Let me pick a la carte. If you let me just pick the stuff I want to watch, they won't do that. Though.
I don't think they have that. That's not
I don't know that
they could do it. No, they could. They're just all they got to do is press a button. They could do it. They don't want to do it.
I don't think that is an option
My
anymore.
favorite phrase that I've ever heard from one of these people on the phone is, well, my system won't let me do that. It's your system.
Except they are answering phones.
Yeah.
They can only do so much. And that's why you got to go to the person ahead of them and then a person above them. And you want to spend your time that way, go ahead. But by the end of it, I don't know who really is the winner and the loser. Now, I do know this over at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, the kids and families are always, they're always treated like winners. It is so special, the things that they do at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. And I've mentioned this before, but when I go home, I get to see the new Children's Hospital going up, and it is going to be magnificent. It's going to have all state of the art, and they're adding different programs, and that's what they're constantly doing. I mean, they have spaces so that when a child that is there, that's a patient, is having a good day and feeling good, they can go down to a game room and play with maybe an older or younger sibling to really feel like a kid for a little bit. They have different things where maybe a kid is getting a specific kind of procedure and it's going to be a tough day, and then the kid gets to pick a toy or a prize of some sort. They just do so many things that maybe the rest of us don't even know about, and that's why I just want you to know how special Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital is. And if you can, I mean, donations are so helpful. They never turn a child away, which is fantastic, and kids are coming from all over for the fantastic doctors and surgeons and nurses and specialists. You can learn more about everything they do. Read some of the amazing stories at glennon.org.
Appliance Discounters is a place you need to know about, because if you're looking for an appliance, Appliance Discounters is the place to go. They're the #1 appliance store in St. Louis with 5 beautiful showrooms. When you buy an in-stock appliance from Appliance Discounters, they can deliver it to you the next day. How in the world can Appliance Discounters do this? Well, they have a 50,000 square foot warehouse filled with appliances ready for delivery. Name brand, factory warranties, and factory rebates. And don't worry about paying more if you're in a hurry. Right now at Appliance Discounters, they're offering an additional 5% off their everyday low prices. Appliance Discounters is your locally owned hometown appliance store. 12 months interest-free financing. Use their money, not yours. Huge factory rebates in addition to their everyday low prices. Why in the world would you go anywhere else? Appliance Discounters open Monday through Saturday, never on Sundays. Shop online 24/7, theappliancediscounters.com.
It's hot out.
But nothing can be hotter this summer than a Dogtown pizza. Hey, Josh here, and we're talking 425 degrees hot. 12 different varieties, and a whole bunch of fresh toppings. Try the bacon, the 4-meat, or head to the garden for a veggie or tomato basil garlic.
Oh, you want to get hot?
Try the hot chicken pizza on for size. Sizzling. This summer's already hot, but make it even hotter with some Dogtown Pizza. Every local grocery store in town and at dogtownpizza.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
With summer already upon us, it's time to think about heat and cooling. If you haven't already, take a look at Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning. Not only are they a local St. Louis company, owned and operated by our neighbors, but they're offering some fantastic promotions right now. The first, get a free second opinion from Indoor Comfort Team. If you're not sure about what another HVAC company has told you, that's all right. Reach out to Indoor Comfort Team, and they'll come out to give a second opinion and some peace of mind. If it turns out you need a new system, they can help with that too. Get $2,000 off a new Train system with no interest financing. You can even get a discount on their VIP maintenance membership program at only $19.99 a month right now. That's 24/7 priority service and support, permanent discounts, tune-ups, and more. Check them out and see why St. Louis has trusted them since 1979. That's indoorcomfortteam.com
or call 314-894-8200.
Hey, it's Julie Buck. Are you always struggling to find the perfect gift? Well, we have the solution for you. You can try a signature facial or a teen facial gift certificate. Have you heard about the Only Facial? They've got one in Clayton, Des Peres, Creve Coeur, Frontenac, St. Charles, Sunset Hills, U City, Columbia, and Springfield, Mo. Edwardsville, Illinois, and now open in Webster Groves and coming soon to Cottleville. This is a top-rated facial spa that only does facials, and there are no upsells and no gratuities accepted. One price for everything, and that price is $125. The signature facial consists of several steps customized to your unique skin types and concerns. The Only Facial is the best thing going. So check them out online at theonlyfacial.com. And if you're an esthetician, they're hiring at The Only Facial. Find out more about all of it on their website. It's theonlyfacial.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk a little entertainment news. The numbers are in, and Spider-Man Brand New Day has officially overthrown Avengers Endgame for the biggest domestic box office opening ever. It earned a total of $360 million, which surpassed the initial reporting of $355 million. Avengers Endgame earned $357 million. Brand New Day still sits behind the Endgame at the global box office. So we'll see what happens.
I did some research yesterday, and I don't know how accurate it was, but based on openings, and that's what we're talking about, not what they're all eventually going to get, but I think it's even adjusted for inflation. It beats Gone with the Wind and some of the big blockbusters of the past, which is amazing because we feel like no one's going to the movies anymore. But apparently they are if it's the right film.
And I just don't understand. I know that there are diehards out there, but I feel like, how is this Spider-Man different than the other Spider-Mans? And I guess it's not my universe.
He's got people challenging him. And then, he's coming of age. He's a young guy. And then he's got problems with his girlfriend.
So Spider-Man is growing.
And then he's got to catch. No, I'm just saying they're all the same.
But my nephews are gaga over this Spider-Man.
Okay.
And when they were little kids, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man were huge.
So this is almost for a different audience?
Next audience. Yeah.
I don't know, because my nephew liked the old ones and he's super into this one. Yeah. I think Spider-Man resonates with the kids.
And young people generally.
Okay. I'll take that. Ariana Grande paused her concert last night in Chicago to clarify her plans to temporarily retreat from public life following her current tour. She started by saying, "Can we get a little real tonight?" And then the 33-year-old went on to say during a 4-minute kind of speech, which she had written down on her phone, she didn't want to get any of this wrong, that the announcement that was made yesterday, which was by her publicist, was not a reactive or impulsive thing. It had been blown out of proportion online. It's something that she had decided on a while back, claiming that she made her thoughtful, empowering decision quietly a long time ago. She's been getting a lot of heat for how thin she is, and people are concerned, and she's really been picked apart.
I think the being concerned is okay, and I wanted to get your thoughts, and I wanted to give you a compliment. In the 2 years we've worked together, 2+, you've really helped me understand that early judgment on something before we know the facts is not a good thing. And I've really worked hard on that. And so people suggesting that they're concerned is one thing, but we also know people get so mean and nasty. And that's the part. But if she can't weigh 90 pounds.
No.
And I just think people who really love and appreciate her talent just want her to be healthy.
Absolutely. And hopefully she will find some peace. I mean, in this same vein, Jelly Roll is going to take a break for a year or two from performing. He told the crowd at a show last week, "I'm fixing to take some time off," and he'll thank you for the opportunity. So I just think it's a lot harder. We see the glamorous side. We don't see the loading and unloading of a truck and going in and trying to be on 100% every night and then going online and seeing what people are saying. It's a tough one.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
I don't want to insinuate anything on top of Ariana Grande, because, I am part of the problem here, questioning what's going on. But did people notice when Karen Carpenter started getting really thin.
Yes.
And did
Yes,
people
they-
speak out? I
they-
mean,
but
we
how
don't
do
have
you
the
s-
cycle
You
like we have
couldn't.
right now.
There
There
was
was
no
no
speaking out because you
speaking
didn't
out.
have it on your phone.
Radio talk, but radio talk wasn't as
No.
big then.
And even at that point, you're not really going to slam her probably like people do today because you want her to come back on. And then, it's a different world
It really
and
is.
what listeners and viewers can do. I mean, we've got this text line right here. That didn't exist 20 years ago. They can say whatever they want about my weight or yours. Gigi Hadid.
Don't say anything about mine. I'm very sensitive.
And Bradley Cooper are sparking marriage rumors after they were spotted wearing rings on their left hand ring fingers during a recent outing in Paris. The model and movie star were photographed holding hands while strolling in the French capital yesterday. The rings are wedding bands made by a French luxury jeweler.
Which model?
This is Gigi Hadid and Bradley Cooper.
Oh, Gigi. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Hmm.
And well, let's just go to some birthdays, shall we? Oh, wait.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got to get this one in.
All right.
Got to get this one in. I don't know if you mentioned it yesterday or not.
Was this about Winona coming
Yes.
to town?
Do you
No,
know?
we saved that.
Well,
Did I say Winona?
Winona, please.
Come on,
she just announced that she is heading out on tour. It's the Hard Truth Tour in support of her upcoming album, The Hard Truth, which comes out October 2nd. Her tour kicks off a week later. She is here at Stiefel Theater on October 23rd, the day I leave for Iceland.
No, here's the deal, though. Her music, you'll just hang out with her the night before. At whatever hotel they are. You will.
You've been to the farm. You've hung out with Skeeter.
Yeah.
What was the date? The 23rd?
23rd.
Well, the 22nd, you guys are going out to dinner. In fact, I predict you'll leave early to go to dinner with Winona that night.
Are you
Take a bet.
No, I did. Well, this is my question. Are you friends with Winona Judd?
Friends, no.
Friendly acquaintances?
I do not have her number. I have her personal assistant's number.
Skeeter?
No. Her husband is Cactus. Not Skeeter.
Skeeter's better.
Yeah.
I always forget that.
I know. I mean, there was Arch and there was Roach and now there's Cactus. So I'll give you that joke. Let's do some birthdays.
All right. I can't top Skeeter. All right. I think you guys, well, I don't know if you're going to knock them out or not. The first one is third all-time on the list in baseball for a pitcher, most strikeouts, behind Nolan Ryan and Randy Johnson. He is Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens. How does the league remember him?
Roid Rage.
I was going to say.
He's got a kid playing in the big leagues, though.
Oh, he does.
And once they get off the juice, they actually kind of get pretty normal.
Roger Clemens is 59 years old.
57.
I want to go older. 63.
Well, it doesn't count, but it's 64.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He pitched for a long time.
He did pitch for a long time, and I guess I just feel like he was still pitching a couple years ago.
Yeah, I'm going to count it.
No, you're not. You're not the official
You may.
scorekeeper.
You can go ahead and count
Yeah.
it.
All
Heidi
right.
and I are not.
When you think of Roger Clemens, what team? The Red Sox?
Yankees popped into my head first, but then I would either one, Red Sox or Yankees.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the Yankees is when, the bat, and he's throwing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. President, Barack Obama. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Mr. President.
I'm going to say 61.
63.
65.
Oh.
How about that? And one of our all-time favorites, Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, he is so good.
He's thin.
He's skinny.
Yeah, he's skinny.
He is a big Cardinals fan.
Huge.
71.
68.
What did you say?
71.
Oh, okay. Now that one.
Got it. We'll give you that one.
I
By
got
the way,
two.
you
I
still
got
haven't
two
started
today.
watching Lioness.
No, and I got to.
Sunday night, the first episode,
Fantastic.
off the charts.
Ooh, now
We're sitting
there
in the
is an
couch just going,
endorsement.
It's
Okay.
really good.
We're going to start. That's your evening
Gotta start.
entertainment report here on the Big 550.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Bogus, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
What does the Science Center, Lambert Airport, the Magic House, McDonnell Douglas, and St. Louis firehouses all have in common? They all trusted their roof to Beatty Roofing. Beatty Roofing has been in business for 70 years. They're not storm chasers. They're based right here in St. Louis, and they've been doing it right for 70 plus years. And if you need a roofer, Beatty Roofing. In fact, first responders get an extra 10% off all roofs. 314-892-1331 or online, BeattyRoofing.com.
Hi, it's Julie Buck to tell you about a trusted family business that I've been working with for years, Easter Fence and Deck. Chuck Easter and his family have been the go-to fence and deck company in the St. Louis area for more than 70 years. And when it comes to sunrooms, Easter Fence and Deck offers the top-of-the-line Better Living sunrooms that are absolutely spectacular. When it comes to fences, decks, and sunrooms, I would invite you to do what my family has done for years and trust the family-owned Easter Fence and Deck online at easterfence.com.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
All right, let's get one final check of traffic from Captain Paul.
Heidi, no accidents, but 270 south is slow between 64 and Manchester. 64 west, busy from Kings Highway to McCausland, and it's heavy and slow from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to I-70. In Illinois, 64 east is heavy between Illinois 157 and 159, and 5570 west is jammed between 255 and Illinois 111. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's wrap this Tuesday up with a random or two.
GEICO stands for Government Employees Insurance Company. It was founded in 1936 to provide auto insurance to federal government employees, but it's always been a private corporation, not a government agency. GEICO, Government Employees Insurance.
Could other people buy into it even back then?
I don't know. I don't know when it opened up to everybody.
I guess when the lizard started opening the door. Is that what? It's a gecko, right?
I mean, he's got to be the best mascot, right?
He's better than the ostrich.
Yes.
Emu. He's an emu.
Yeah.
He's an emu. And the phrase cut to the chase comes from the silent film era when movies were usually long love stories that ended with a thrilling chase scene.
Seriously?
They would say cut to the chase meant skip all the boring details and just Give me the ending.
Okay, I love that, and I'm going to use that at the next cocktail party. You guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully you'll meet us back here at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right. It's all right. Get your money.
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event.